Behind us, we can all expect new laws and regulations affecting the economy, taxes, student loans, trade, commerce, and more. What does it all mean for your investments, and what should you do now as a result? Get the answers in my special presentation on the election and your investments. The webinar is Tuesday, January 26th at 3 and 8 p.m. I'll show you the impact political parties have had on the stock market, and I'll also give you the 3-step investment strategy you need right now. The webinar's free. Just register at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com. At Edelman Financial Engines, we've been helping folks just like you get through every election since 1986, and we can help you now, too. You'll be surprised at what I have to tell you, so if you missed this webinar before, this is your last chance to see it. Join me January 26th at 3 and 8 p.m. Eastern. Register now at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
There's only one station in Kansas City big enough to bring you all the Chiefs coverage you need. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
The Chiefs are heading to the AFC Championship game.
As the Chiefs get set to take on the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game. Keep it on Sports Radio 810 for all the latest.
The quarterback, Trent Green.
Super DJ Derek Johnson joins us.
Adam Schefter from ESPN.
If it's Chiefs, it's right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
WHB Kansas City.
Every weekday on Sports Radio 810, tune in to hear Kansas City's favorite local lineup. At 6 a.m., wake up with the Border Patrol with Stephen St. John and Nate Bucati. At 10, it's The Zone with Jason Anderson. Now at 2, get into the program with Soren Petro. And wrap up your day on Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco. Kansas City's hometown sports station. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
A KC tradition since 1957, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef, which has been proven to be naturally more tender and flavorful than other brands. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. This process provides a wonderful aroma and delicious flavor that cannot be duplicated by any other cooking method. Hereford House, Leawood, Independence, Shawnee, and Zona Rosa.
Isn't this a sports show?
I'm trying to take risks and take chances, get messy, like Miss Frizzle told me to do. Magic School Bus reference for 7 people. Okay, good. I got it. Don't worry. Take chances, make mistakes, get messy. That's what it was. Shout out to Miss Frizzle.
Almost entirely.
I was homeschooled, so she was like my,
She was your science teacher.
She was my science teacher. Yeah, that's exactly right.
That was Bill Nye. How dare you? Hey, Beards, you honestly think Josh's mom would let him watch Bill Nye? No way.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
You think I was reading Harry Potter for fun, Beards? Are you kidding me?
So Wishbone was your English class?
You're damn right.
Yeah!
You're damn right, Wishbone was my English class. Absolutely.
Take the show with you by listening on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app at 810WHB.com or by searching for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcasts.
I was basically educated on PBS.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not complaining. Great.
Look at us now.
Yeah, look at us.
This is Almost Entirely Sports on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
We have a lot to talk about in the hours to come here today on Almost Entirely Sports. Welcome in. I'm here. Rudy is here. No Beards. COVID reserve list. If he needs to update you, the people, you can follow him on Twitter and get his cyberpunk tweets. Hopefully he's doing well and we'll have him back before too long. But tonight it's me and Rudy. We will not be completely alone tonight. We'll have some help in the third hour of tonight's show. More on that in a little bit. But the main topic tonight, no surprise, is going to revolve around the Chiefs. Pretty much our main several topics tonight are going to revolve around the Chiefs. And I hope that's okay with you. Because the AFC Championship game is just a couple of days away now, and I've said this last night and then proceeded to not actually fix this problem. I think we're going to fix it today. We are in AFC Championship week, and we've talked barely at all about the AFC Championship game. We barely talked about the win over the Browns last weekend, because that was immediately washed over by the concussion, head, neck, whatever injury of Patrick Mahomes. So we have just been totally thrown off of our axis these last couple of days, which is fair, I believe, because if Patrick Mahomes doesn't play against the Bills, pretty much everything else we'll talk about barely matters. So it's totally reasonable that we spent so much time on Patrick Mahomes' head, because that, in a lot of ways, is going to decide where this game goes. But it also has us overlooking a lot of stuff that I was kind of digging back into earlier today and realizing, like, oh, this actually looks pretty good as long as Patrick Mahomes can play football, and it sounds like he'll be able to. Here's the quick sort of update from practice today. Mahomes was wearing a helmet, no pads for anybody. Mahomes was wearing his helmet. He was out there in the portion of the practice that was open to the media. He was a limited participant, which tracks with yesterday. And it was a more full practice. And Andy Reid was asked, did Patrick Mahomes take all of the snaps, all the starter snaps? And Andy Reid's answer was, I believe, to quote it exactly here, was he took most of them, yeah. And then the yeah is in response, at least in some way, to did he take all of the snaps? So there's a little bit of Andy Reid answering that question in a couple different ways, which has been the case through this whole little saga. My read of it is this. Nate Taylor, I was talking to him earlier, recording an episode of the Times Ours podcast on The Athletic. And I thought about trying to rope Nate to coming in and doing the show tonight, but our entire minute before hitting record on the podcast was just both of us talking about how unbelievably busy this week has been. And I thought if I added anything else to Nate's plate, we may never see him again. He may explode like a star and then become a black hole, and that'd really be bad for all of us, because that would consume the entire galaxy, I think. How much space can a black hole destroy, Rudy? Can you look into that for me?
I think all space. You just have to be close enough.
No, but all right. So how far is the if our sun would supernova and then back in, we would obviously be incinerated by its supernova-ing. Just have that ready for me at some. Just do some light research on that. I don't remember why that even needed to come up. But I was talking to Nate, and so we're not gonna have him on tonight. But I do want to quote him on something. He has said essentially, here's what this very likely may have unfolded.
I have to interrupt you.
Okay.
I found a PDF on NASA's website.
Okay.
Black hole safety information card. It is like an old school pamphlet.
Good. We need to know
with
this.
all the safety information that you need if you run across a black hole.
Perfect. That's great. That's very helpful. Can you just print that off and just so we can have one, just put it in our office or something here? I want to make sure if our sun does in fact begin to explode and then implode, and we will be dead the moment that happens. But I'd like to know what's happening to me kind of throughout the process when I'm getting spaghettified or whatever it's called, whenever you're basically pulled apart by gravity. I can't remember. I think that was a plot point in Interstellar. I'm not sure. But Nate said, based on Andy Reid's answer, and Nate tweeted out at the time at practice, Patrick Mahomes looked like Patrick Mahomes at practice. That might be the only thing you need to take with you today. Patrick Mahomes looked like Patrick Mahomes at practice, according to Nate Taylor. But Nate said, by the end of practice, he think, maybe Rick Burkholder, the VP of Sports Medicine Performance, head trainer, maybe he's kind of slunk over to Andy Reid and said, hey, coach, could you just get this? Could Chad Henne take this last snap from Patrick? Because then that'd be one. So he'd be limited. He'd be limited technically, because based on the protocol of how this whole thing works, Mahomes should not be a full participant yet. Could you just do that? And then that's what happened. That's sort of Nate's working theory. And that tracks with what happened yesterday, where Mahomes was a full participant in a limited practice. Today, he was a limited participant in a full practice, but I did not hear much at all in terms of in terms of Patrick Mahomes being actually limited in any way. He was a limited participant, LP, on the depth chart or on the injury report. But I did not see or hear anything from anyone that would indicate at all that Patrick Mahomes was actually limited in some way in what he could do today. We'll play some audio from the press conferences later, and we'll cover a whole bunch of stuff. But there's your little sort of Patrick Mahomes kind of kickoff there. I think he's pretty well in the clear. Maybe not actually through the protocol yet. In fact, we know that's not the case. But it would not surprise me one bit for him to do whatever that fifth step of the protocol is tomorrow morning and be good to go, or perhaps do that after practice, be limited one more day, and then clear it and be good. But at this point, I would be quite surprised if Patrick Mahomes does not play against the Bills. He seems like he's good to go. Here's the pivot on that for me. We've got that locked in. I expect Patrick Mahomes to play. What happens when he does? What happens when this game actually kicks off on Sunday? So much of this week has been about Patrick Mahomes. What about everything else when we assume that Mahomes is going to be there? I was thinking about, we watched a little bit of the first Chiefs-Bills matchup on the TV during the show in here last night, 2 nights ago. But I was going back over it again earlier today, and I went back through the box score, and we watched some of it on NFL Network, and was thinking back to how that game went, and then also to some of the stuff that happened after the game. Because immediately after the game, which is something we do every week here on the Sports Radio 810 WHB postgame show, presented by CBD American Shaman, no less. That'll happen again immediately after the game this weekend. Also, you can hear the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game here on Sports Radio 810, just so you know. In case you didn't, now you know. You can hear the game here on 810, both conference championship games, and then I will take this very same microphone immediately after the game wraps up. And we'll talk about it. But one thing we do on the postgame show is we bring you the opposing coach and their press conference right after the game. And hearing Sean McDermott postgame in Week 6, he said something that really stuck with me, genuinely. Because it's something I've thought about most weeks from that point to now. He was asked about the strategy. And again, I'm going to continue just crediting my friends and esteemed colleagues. I've mentioned this 1,000 times. After going back and looking at the game, Seth Kaiser, chief of the North Newsletter, weekly guest here, of course, he went back and looked at the tape and said the Bills linebackers were backpedaling at the snap constantly. The snap goes, they're backpedaling, and then even I, someone who does not want the Chiefs to run the ball pretty much ever, even I have to admit, well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to get 6 or 7 yards a carry, or you think you're going to get 6 or 7 yards on that carry, yeah, sure, take the incredibly low-risk free 7 yards, and then throw it downfield on 2nd and 3. See what happens. All right, cool. I'm good with that. Absolutely fine with that. Well, the Bills were essentially daring the Chiefs to run the ball. And the Chiefs are a professional football team, so they can run the ball against light boxes and backpedaling linebackers. And it worked. After the game, McDermott was asked about that. And if he felt like that strategy worked. And I'm paraphrasing here. But his answer was essentially, well, we were there really close at the end. Just needed one more score. Essentially, this is a good football team that if you're close at the end, you feel pretty good about the way that you got there. So I feel pretty good about the choices we made because we were in it at the end. We just needed a couple more plays. Now, I don't even think that's a bad thought process. I think the particulars of that strategy and then what came with it it was relatively obvious that didn't work for reasons that we'll talk about. But I found that to be tremendously honest from Sean McDermott. And also now instructive to what they can, should, may do in the rematch. The Bills in this game need to make some choices. They need to swing big. They need to take their chances. Maybe they need to hear from Miss Frizzle. They need to take chances, make mistakes, and get messy, except for their mistakes need to be minimal, and their successes need to be massive. The final score of the game in Week 6, and the Bills are different for a couple of reasons, and I'll get to that. But in Week 6, that game was 26-17. That was the final score. With about 6.5 minutes, the Bills scored a touchdown. Before that, it was 26-10. That game wasn't as close as the final score was, which is something that we saw many times over later in the year from the Chiefs. This was before it was a meme, though. This ended up being a 2-possession game. It's a 9-point win. But the Chiefs were up by 16 with 6.5 minutes left, and their team still has Patrick Mahomes, who at that point just needed to get some first downs and eventually get in a field goal range, and the game would be over. And so the strategy of daring them to run, the Chiefs are better when they throw, period. End of story. I mean, easy. That is a 101 class thing that if you don't have that, don't come to class to 201 yet. That is the first thing. The Chiefs and almost every NFL team are better when they throw in a neutral situation. But if you're going to let them run the ball so they're not even tempted to throw it, you've got to be more effective than the Bills were. The Chiefs were able to get first downs, move the ball, and then ultimately score with that strategy from the Bills.
Want to hear a fun stat about that game?
Sure.
So NFL StatCast has been around for 5 years now.
Okay.
Only one time in 5 years have they recorded no blitzes in a game. Buffalo Bills did not blitz Patrick Mahomes a single time.
That's very interesting.
Only time in NFL. Oh, I shouldn't say the only time in NFL history. Only time in NFL history over the previous 5 years.
Only time in the last
NFL
5 years that no one has
history.
done that. Yeah. Very interesting. And also, that part might be reasonable to keep, actually, because you really shouldn't blitz Patrick Mahomes. But I also don't think that what they did ended up working. Mm-hmm. Not even just playing the results, playing the process here. The Chiefs were in the red zone in that game 5 times. They scored touchdowns 3 of those 5 times. That's an advantage offense, because unless you're turning the ball over, you're at least expecting that you're either, getting a 4th and very short situation where you either convert it and you keep moving, or you give them the ball back on a long field, or you get the field goal, depending on the situation there. But the Chiefs went to the red zone 5 times in that game, and they scored touchdowns 3 of those times. The 2 times they did not score touchdowns from within the red zone, one time they had 2 attempts to get 1 yard and couldn't, and then actually lost yardage, and then kicked the field goal on 4th and 4. And the other time was essentially the game-killing field goal, where they were continuing to run plays because a touchdown would have ended it also, and you run more clock out, and it just sort of eliminates the concern there. Touchdown would be great. Kicks aren't guaranteed. But ultimately, they ended up settling for the field goal, and it essentially ended the game. The Chiefs had successful red zone possessions, I'll say, 4 out of 5 times. And the one time that it was an unsuccessful possession, it was there was a participation trophy. There was the field goal there, even though it didn't turn into a touchdown. The second field goal essentially ended the game. So that one is fine. They did not do enough on either side of the ball to make that strategy work. The Chiefs were getting into the red zone and scoring. They weren't getting those huge chunk plays. They weren't just dropping bombs over your head constantly, but it didn't matter because the result ended up being pretty much the same. If you could sign up to say we're going to give up 26 points to the Chiefs, you would take that. I think at this point, that's something that you would sign up for. But on the other side, the Bills scored 17 points. The Bills scored 17 points the first time, and nobody's talking about that. Like in the matchup between second team All-Pro quarterback Josh Allen tied with Patrick Mahomes for second team All-Pro. Steve Spagnuolo won that matchup.
Second team All-Pro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the second team All-Pro tied with Patrick Mahomes, tied with Josh Allen.
Patrick Mahomes is second team All-Pro. Josh Allen's second team
No,
All-Pro.
absolutely not. They are equal. They are peers, and I want Patrick Mahomes to hear me saying that. I need some sort of evidence to prove to me that Patrick Mahomes is even better than Josh Allen.
Patrick Mahomes is the Michael Scott of this situation.
No, they got the same number of votes, Rudy. And also, Mitch Trubisky got drafted 8 picks ahead of Mahomes. He was number 4 on the NFL Top 100 list.
Well, he was first team All-Pro, right?
No, it was Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback that's also better than Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know if that's true.
I think
if
Mahomes
you go look at the list, I think Mitch Trubisky is in there in first team.
I think Patrick Mahomes is lucky. Patrick Mahomes is lucky to be mentioned in the same breath as Josh Allen. That's what I'm saying. And I want Patrick Mahomes to hear all of these things and then to count on his fingers to whatever. I don't know what number you would count to. Maybe the number of Pro Bowl votes you got. That one's a little bit more of a deep cut than being the 10th pick or being number 4 on the NFL Top 100 list. But whatever it takes, man. I'm here for a petty Mahomes. Is that a Patty Mahomes? I wouldn't call a grown man Patty, regardless, unless that's what he went by. But also saying Pet Mahomes also does not work because that's already a thing. Is petty short for petulant? Is that based on the word petulant? It's got to be, right?
Probably.
Never thought about that till just now.
I just the box scored, and I just
we're cooking. We're cooking into the box score.
Jaw dropped.
Yeah. Remind yourself what this box score looks like.
I just looked at Josh Allen's box score.
Yup.
Goodness.
Yup. Choo-choo.
I was not prepared for that.
Choo-choo. That's the train I'm taking everybody on right now because you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised to be reminded of what Josh Allen looked like in this game whenever Spags beat him. Josh Allen versus Steve Spagnuolo. Spags is up 1-0 here. Box scores are not everything, obviously. Josh Allen as a passer went 14 for 27 for 122 yards. That's 4.5 yards per attempt. 2 touchdowns, the pick at the end of the game. That one's not that big of a deal. But it's 14 of 27 for 122 yards. The Bills ran the ball 23 times, but 8 of those were Allen. I do not remember how many of those were scrambles, how many were design runs. I do not have that. They might not run it 15 times with their actual running backs this next time through, which is what they did last time. Allen will still scramble some. But this was not even just a victory for Spags. This was a bloodbath. Week 6, Josh Allen was not an All-Pro, was not an MVP candidate. And I'm not saying I think that Josh Allen's development is fraudulent. I think he's a really good quarterback who has made a jump that you do not see very often, where a quarterback with all of the arm talent in the world ends up cutting out the recklessness. That's a tough thing to do. That's why Mahomes didn't get drafted sooner, because nobody thought they could do that for him coming out of college. Josh Allen didn't just do it coming out of college. Josh Allen did that in the pros. Josh Allen in college was also not that good. He just had all the tools. You know what? If he ends up in the right spot, maybe. And he did. But in those 2 games, the Chiefs game and the game before the Bills and the Chiefs played, the Bills played the COVID-riddled Titans. Were they COVID-riddled at that point? Or did that come after? I don't remember. The Titans won that game 42-16. The next week, the Bills lost 26-17. The next week, they scored 18 points against the Jets. I don't know what their offense was going through right there. I don't know how this group ends up ending the season with 48, 38, and 56 points against the Broncos, Patriots, and Dolphins. Not exactly juggernauts, but the Dolphins are a good team. I'm not sure if the Bills team that the Chiefs played in Week 6 is going to be all that familiar whenever they play them on Sunday. But right now, the data point that we have for Chiefs-Bills was the Chiefs playing a version of their game that is by no means their favorite form of offense and doing it just as well as you dared them to do. It was the Chiefs' defense absolutely bothering Josh Allen in a way that is extremely noteworthy. And it was a game that the Chiefs totally controlled. They got easy yard after easy yard. The Bills' offense was laboring, and Josh Allen didn't look very good.
Which it should be pointed out, every time the Chiefs have played a team who we perceived to be a contender, like Houston week 1, obviously Houston ended up not being a contender. We didn't know that at the time.
Right.
Or a team that actually was a contender. The Chiefs have, I mean, not every game's been a blow-up by any means, but I don't know if there's been a game where the Chiefs have won against a team who, again, we legitimately thought of as a contender where it didn't feel like they controlled the game from start to finish. You have the Tampa Bay game, obviously, where Tampa Bay kind of gets back into it a bit. But even like with that, it was like I don't think most people ever really felt like that game was ever in doubt.
You shouldn't have. Some people probably did, but you should not have. That's absolutely right.
They just have kind of control. Whenever they've had to go up against a team, like one of the true teams.
How about the Ravens?
Baltimore.
Do you remember the score
Buffalo,
at halftime for the Ravens game? It was 27-10.
Like they've just handled business.
One thing that I would have loved, obviously I would have loved for Patrick Mahomes to simply not get hurt. But against the Browns last week, there's something else that Seth mentioned that I'm lifting this take from him because I think he's right. This was very easy to forget because of everything that happened when Mahomes got hurt and everything that happened after that. At halftime, it was 19-3. This football game was over.
When did he hurt the toe? It was in the second quarter, right? Like
somewhere around there,
the
yeah.
End of the second, yeah, because like before, because even like a little bit at that point, not that the offense was like all of a sudden bad, but you could see there was like a little bit, right? Like now,
sure.
Again, which is understandable because
there's a limitation. There's something that you're
Mahomes has got a little
about.
bit of a toe. Prior to that, the Chiefs looked like
he
they
has
were
more than
score.
a little bit of a toe. He
Yeah,
has all 10.
I mean, he has 10 toes.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, I don't know. Maybe one toe's a little smaller than normal. I don't know. Maybe that's what makes him special. Maybe
Sure.
that's the secret.
Maybe
to
that's
all
it.
of
He has a little toe.
Maybe if your seventh toe is 1 centimeter shorter than average, you're a god at playing football.
I'm gonna go
Maybe
shave
that's the
off
key.
part of my toe.
It's not too late.
Can't hurt.
Anyways,
Would hurt a lot.
oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, like if he doesn't hurt the toe, Chiefs might have scored 40 in that game.
Yeah.
And 40 probably doesn't happen. Maybe they at the end they're running a little bit more. Yada yada.
But we would have been at this point where you say they could have scored 40 if they wouldn't have let up.
They handle the Browns in a way that like they have against every other team this year. Like I don't think the game is. I don't think it's even close.
They picked off Baker, and that turned into 0 points because Butker missed that field goal. You can even take it from whenever Mahomes went out. If you think that me saying 19-3 is unfair, because with the starters in, it was 22-10. It was 19-10 whenever Mahomes got hurt. They convert that 4th and 1. I think there's a real good chance that Mahomes scores a touchdown there instead of them settling for a field goal. But whatever, even if they don't, 22-10. Then the Browns go score, make it 22-17, and then Haney has that interception, and then they end up being able to still kill the game at the end because they forced a punt. Well, they didn't really force. They should not have punted, but the Browns punted and the Chiefs into the game with the ball in their hands. That game was fast.
I mean, the Chiefs forced them to punt. I watched Chris Jones walk up to Kevin Stefanski and just say punt.
Grab him by the scruff of his neck to punt.
He didn't have to do that. He just looked at him and was like, punt. Stefanski was like, yes, sir.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Chris Jones, sir.
Go punter, sir. Go punt.
But that game could have been the sort of manhandling that would have saved us these conversations about the Chiefs only winning by 1 possession or whatever. They could have had a blowout win in the divisional round of the playoffs, but Mahomes got hurt twice, so bleep happens. But the more that I revisit the first matchup, and again, there are a lot of reasons the Bills are different right now. I think their offense is better. I think they've gotten to a place where that whole deal moves more efficiently. I do want to make that clear.
They figured things out along the way, what
Absolutely.
they do best, and yeah.
Right now, also, though, at least Diggs and Beasley have been limited this week. I think one of their other depth receivers has been limited in practice this week. So that'll be worth keeping an eye on.
I don't know what his status is now, but towards the end of the year, the last 3 or 4 weeks of the year, I assume he's as healthy as he can be. But John Brown missed some time towards the end of the year.
I don't think he was limited this week, though, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
but he has missed some time.
He may be practicing, and again, he may be in a situation where he's as healthy as anybody is right now because everybody's banged up to some degree. But he is a receiver who has missed some time and is dealing with some stuff.
It sounds like Beasley is hobbling at this point, and I do not know what's going on with Diggs. If he's limited at all, that's enormous.
I don't know much about Cole Beasley, but Cole Beasley seems like the guy who's just kind of always limping a little bit.
Yeah.
And part of that's the grit, and
It's
I don't know why I feel like he's a gritty player.
There, though. Yeah, you're right.
But he feels like such a gritty player.
He's just like, I don't know why, but right now I've got a much against my will.
Sneaky athletic too.
Against my will right now on NFL Network is Chiefs Patriots AFC Championship game. Something I'm enjoying much less than the other Chiefs games that have been on around this time the last couple of days. But I see Julian Edelman, and I just think he and Cole Beasley, I think Beasley's a real Julian Edelman type.
Good rappers. Both of them.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of like a Wes Welker, kind of a hold on. All right.
Braxton Berrios.
Hey, everybody stop listening for a second. Everybody stop listening. I'm just gonna talk straight to Rudy. Hey, Rudy, this is spoiling the bit, so obviously everyone turn the radio down.
Yeah.
Who was the one white, outside receiver who was just like a burner? I feel like there was a guy that I can't think of right now, but he kept getting a Julian Edelman comp, which is totally unfair. Who was very much not a slot guy. He might have even been out of the draft somewhat recently. I don't remember.
White guy who's fast.
Oh, he's on the TV. It's Chris Hogan.
Oh, I was going to say Chris Hogan, but I didn't think that would be right.
I think it was Chris Hogan, actually.
I assumed it wasn't him because I was like, Josh clearly isn't talking about the other Patriots receiver. Did you know Chris Hogan played college lacrosse?
You know what? I think that's come up before. Because wasn't Chris Hogan he's
like 6'3".
He was essentially, yeah. And
he's an outside receiver.
He's like the deep threat. I'm trying to see what his
I don't know,
yards per reception was.
I don't know exactly how fast he is, right, or anything in terms of compared to the rest of the league, but he was a 6'3" wide receiver who played out on the perimeter.
His 3 years in New England, his yards per reception averaged out over those 3 years. So that's a pretty good sample size. 100 receptions, 12 touchdowns here. His yards per reception in that time was 15.4.
Yeah.
He's McCole Hardman.
He went down the field.
That doesn't include yards after the catch, obviously, but I forgot about that. That's very funny.
Yeah,
it was Chris Hogan.
Everybody was trying to be like his next Julian Edelman, and he did nothing that Julian Edelman did because he's 6'3".
Yeah, Julian Edelman is 5'10".
He played out wide. What are we doing?
Julian Edelman's career yards per reception is 11.
Then the Panthers paid him pretty well, and it did not go well. That might have been because he went from Tom Brady to a banged-up Cam Newton. And by banged-up Cam Newton, it was mostly guys quite frequently, it was no Cam Newton. He had
that's right.
The quarterback who followed Allen. That's right. I was going to say the quarterback who followed Rivera to Washington.
Dude's going to have a job for the rest of time.
As long as Rivera has that coaching job.
Yes. As long as Ron Rivera is coaching somewhere, Kyle Allen's going to have a place to be the third-string quarterback.
Mr. Jeremy Jam says Ryan Switzer, which is another good one.
I'm mad at Jeremy Jam for pointing out our weird aspect ratio. You can kiss my aspect ratio, Jeremy Jam.
Go fix Congress or something, Jam.
Pretty sure he was a Pawnee city councilman.
Yeah, that's in a past life. It's 2021 now. Jeremy Jam's absolutely a senator. That show just ended before we ever could find that out.
I just have to keep I'm just trying to make sure that maybe people that showed up for tonight that weren't here last night get some amount of context, which I know, listen, if you are a person that listens to every waking moment of this show through podcasts and whatnot, you are rewarded for knowing more of the stupid inner workings of this show than anyone should ever have to know.
You probably know more about the show than I do.
You probably know more about the show than Beards does.
There's no probably there.
That's true. Because Beards doesn't listen. I mean, even whenever he's here, Beards is not listening to all 3 hours.
Beards is looking at steak on Reddit when he's here.
But there are a bunch of ways that you can interact with this show. We are in the visual medium now in 3 different places: the Sports Radio 810 Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube channels. It's great. You can see me, you can see Rudy, you can see all the mascots on the console. At 10 o'clock tonight, you'll be able to see returning former Interchin, Little Chiefs boy, King of Power Rankings, host of the Ref and the Kicker podcast, Tucker D. Franklin, will join us in studio for the 10 o'clock hour tonight. That'll be fun. You can see him there. He does weird stuff on camera sometimes, so that should be nice. But you can also leave comments throughout any of those places, and we can see them all at once, which is something that is really been excellent. And if you're a Twitch user, your username may be something like Mr. Jeremy Jam, which is... And then also somebody like last time left a comment asking if they could start a Zoom call. And we didn't know what that meant. Mm-hmm. So someone on Facebook has referenced it again tonight, which makes me very happy.
And I assume you say someone because for you it also still says empty username.
It does. Yeah, it does. I'm sorry if you're commenting on Facebook. We've got some kinks to work out still.
I thought I knew how to fix it. I did not.
We'll figure it out. Someone on Twitch asked if this is a Grumpy Cat Beanie Baby. No, this is Disgruntled Kitten in a jester hat, and it's Disgruntled Kitten because I don't want any trademark, kind of copyright fight. But also rest in peace, Grumpy Cat, because that was a really sad day. But this is Disgruntled Kitten, and we have a whole series of a dolphin, a goat, an elephant, Dick Justice, the wiener dog, another dog, a possum, a killer snowman, Disgruntled Kitten, and a tiny purple dolphin that lives on the microphone.
He may be a killer snowman, but he takes his cardio very seriously.
Yes.
Always in tip-top shape.
Yes. That one is a reference that I don't even think anyone who's listening to every episode of the show is going to fully understand, because I don't think I fully understand that anymore. Some of that information's been lost to time, and rightfully so. So pour one out for Grumpy Cat. Gone so far too soon. This isn't even a bit. That just makes me really sad to remember that Grumpy Cat's no longer with us. I'm even allergic to cats. I can't hang out with cats. But if I could get a little grumpy kitty, a little aggravated kitten, I'd be all about it. This is pretty much the closest I can get, though. This one does not make me sneeze, thankfully. On that note, let's take a break. I got more Chiefs-Bills stuff. We got audio from all day today. All sorts of things looking ahead to the AFC Championship game that is not merely about Patrick Mahomes, although obviously as he goes, so goes the Chiefs. But I feel pretty good about him playing on Sunday. So there's a bunch of other stuff that's deserving of some of our time. I'm going to wipe these tears away from my eyes, and then we'll do more radio whenever we come back.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page.
Do you have a frog? A freezing room over the garage? Now that everyone is home, are you looking to convert your frog into an office, a schoolroom, or a comfortable room to escape your family? With no ductwork required, Mitsubishi Electric offers room-by-room air filtration and precise temperature control. Let's help you turn those cold, uncomfortable spaces in your house into a space you and your family will really enjoy. To learn more about Mitsubishi Electric's solutions, visit keepkccool.com today. Now, they can help you whether you need to heat it up or cool it down. Mitsubishi's got you covered. Our biggest problem here in the Sports Radio 810 control room and studio was the heat. We've got a lot of windows and a lot of radio equipment, and our Mitsubishi unit has kept us cool for years. It works like a charm, and it works quickly, and it's whisper quiet. It's been a real game changer for us at Sports Radio 810. Check them out at keepkccool.com. That's keepkccool.com today.
Right now at Audi Shawnee Mission, experience why the Season of Audi sales event is the best time to get yourself the vehicle of your dreams. See their entire selection online at AudiShawneeMission.com or come take a test drive at Audi Shawnee Mission off I-35 and Shawnee Mission Parkway. Come experience their new state-of-the-art facility and check out the best deals of the year. You can't beat the great deals at Audi and supporting our hometown team as they march through the playoffs. Shopping at Audi of Shawnee Mission is a fun, stress-free experience for every type of driver. Explore their current inventory online at AudiShawneeMission.com. You'll find new Audi models matching your exact preferences with their handy search tools. Audi Shawnee Mission frequently updates the new Audi specials page so you can see the best offers on their most popular Audi vehicles. Put yourself behind the wheel of the new Audi you've always wanted at Audi Shawnee Mission, off I-35 and Shawnee Mission Parkway, or online at AudiShawneeMission.com. Audi of Shawnee Mission. Feel what it's like to drive the rings.
You know what makes good sense? Staying safe this holiday season while spending time with your family and friends. Let us cater your safe and happy holidays. Now that makes good sense. So take us home to your family. Who's to say you can't buy love? Just take a bite of a good sense of good sense. Good sense makes good sense.
Prime Lending, Kansas City's leading mortgage company, is excited for the postseason and to continue to cheer on our hometown team towards another World Championship run. Prime Lending is ready to assist you with a winning game plan on a mortgage to buy a home or to refinance your current home. Please call or visit any of their 10 KC Metro locations. You can also find them online at yprimelendingkc.com or call 816-600-4561. All loans subject to credit approval. Rates and fees subject to change. Prime Lending, a Plains Capital Company, NMLS 13649, is an equal housing lender.
Family Leisure's After Christmas clearance sale is here. Family Leisure has the best prices of the year on closeout, scratch and dent, and overstock products, and bonus deals for you if you mention 810. Pool tables, foosball, air hockey, bars and bar stools reduced by up to 70%. Hot tubs, tanning beds, and home theater seating at their best prices. Family Leisure has the best products, best selection, and best prices guaranteed. Take advantage of the special 810 deals while they last. Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
Awesome! Your home for the AFC and NFC championship games. Sports Radio 810 WHB. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
We're here for a one-on-one interview with our friend Travis Kelsey. Travis, I know you listen to a lot of Almost Entirely Sports. What do you think about Joshua Brisco and Beards McFly?
I mean, I don't think they suck. I can tell you that.
Thank you, Travis.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Rudy, if you don't know where this piece of audio is, I totally understand. But do you know where the breaking news sound effect is? I have breaking news. It happened during the first segment of the show, but I just saw it on Twitter during the break, and I really want to make sure that the audience gets this very important piece of breaking news. If not, you can do it a cappella. You can just make a breaking news sound. Just whatever works for you, honestly. Well, I've gotten the one finger up, as if there's anything I can do about it. Rudy is scrolling. It seems like it's promising. All right, let's go to the break.
I knew where it was. I had to go back to the music to turn off the music.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, that's fine. Let's go ahead and go to our breaking news desk. Our news desk reporter, Joshua Brisco. Go ahead, Josh. Thank you, Josh. I have a tweet here that is really bringing some important breaking news to the scene here. The tweet says, my book is coming out soon. #NFL, #football.
Heck yeah.
That tweet is you said heck yeah before you knew who
Todd Haley.
You kind of ruined my...
I honestly thought you said it at the beginning.
Sure didn't.
But I knew who the author was.
Audience didn't know yet.
Who's the coach hired today? The Colts OC. You know what tree he's from?
It's an Andy Reid coaching tree.
Mm-mm.
Well, he was in Kansas City for 3 years.
He was. You know when he was hired though?
No.
By the author of that book.
Wait, was he here under Haley? I thought he was here for 3 years.
The OC of the Colts, who was named head coach of whoever, I forget now. Not Frank Reich, but the other guy.
Eagles head coach. Nick Sirianni.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today, okay, here's what I'll say.
I thought he was under Andy Reid here
I
for 3
never looked
years.
him up. This is what Jason said on the Zone today. So if you want to double check Jason Anderson.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean,
that's fine.
You read it off some forum. Are you making me Google when Nick Sirianni was here?
You want to. He said, if I believe it was like 2009 to 13.
I thought the timeline made 2009 through 2012. All right, you're right.
You know what that means?
Not technically an
you know what that means?
Coaching.
You know whose coaching tree falls under? Only the greatest coaching tree in the history of the NFL, and also the author of a book.
Really kind of took a big dump on my bit.
Are you going to say the name? People don't know who wrote the book or the author of the greatest coaching tree.
Todd Haley had a tweet like 30 minutes ago, and it just says, my book is coming out soon. Hashtag NFL emoji, hashtag football. But kind of the thing I was doing was like reading that the book announcement was here, and then you said, heck yeah, because you knew, but the audience didn't know yet.
But I thought you had said it, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, if only there was some way you could have confirmed if I had said it out loud or not into the headphones you're wearing.
I didn't know it was a bit.
Anyway, Todd Haley's writing a book, and the Almost Entirely Sports Book Club doesn't exist yet, but if it's going to, it's gonna start there. Like that, that's breaking news.
I think we get Andrew Luck to join.
Just because he reads books?
There was so like one of his like first like commercials in Indianapolis was like him promoting like book clubs and stuff. Like he's a big believer in reading books. So there was the Andrew Luck Book Club.
What else are you gonna bring into this segment, Rudy? You're batting 1,000.
I'm retiring.
Much like Andrew Luck, just before your time.
Go out on top.
But how many? But
with a rash of injuries because the team put around me just wasn't good enough.
Yeah. No, I think that's only fair. Anyway. We're gonna have to take another break in 2 seconds because that first segment was 38 minutes, and this entire segment's been breaking news, sound effects, and Rudy really stepping on my Todd Haley, big announcement. But it's fine, whatever. God, I'm watching Julian Edelman just be wide open over the middle of the field 14 times on NFL Network. Don't turn on NFL Network right now. What
game is it?
AFC Championship game.
Oh, yeah, because that narrows it down to the one of 14 that Tom Brady was in.
No. The AFC Championship game.
Oh, the one where the Chiefs play.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Right. That's right. Yeah, I'm watching Eric Berry and Justin Houston running around in coverage, just getting dissected by Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski, both just gritty, sneaky, athletic film nuts.
Eric Berry's soul was not ready to play that day. It was not ready to play. Neither was he physically.
I do see Anthony Hitchens. He just made a stop and is swaggering around. Little does he know what's about to get thrown right over his head.
He knew.
God. Yeah, nobody. Don't turn on NFL Network. It's not. I just can't change the channel at this point.
I was inside Arrowhead Stadium when that happened, watching people. Whew.
How did that experience go?
It,
Why is that button so squeaky? It sounds like you turn your microphone on and off by punching a rubber duck.
I mean, is that not what these are? That's the chair.
It's just everything in that room is so squeaky. Anyway, yeah, there's Justin Houston just sort of chasing down one of the running backs. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Jordan Lucas. No, he wasn't White, Rudy, so it must have been somebody else.
Sony Michel.
No, it was James White.
Nailed it. Shane Vereen.
Corey Dillon, I don't think was on this team.
Curtis Falk.
I don't think either of them were on that.
Curtis Martin, not Curtis Falk. Curtis Falk is not,
Marshall Falk? Curtis Martin?
Is Curtis Falk a player?
Is Curtis?
I feel like they did have a running back whose last name was Falk.
Did they have Marshall Falk at some point?
No, not Marshall. Like a third down back who might have been with Corey Dillon.
This is when we really need the Twitch chat and everything to really take over. Kevin Falk.
There we go.
What did you say? Curtis Falk?
Curtis Falk, yeah. I was wrong, but
Kevin Falk.
I was close enough.
And I will say, we went over whatever word I say weirdly yesterday. I will say that I enunciate the L in words like Falk. Falk. I basically pronounce it as if it's F-A-L-K. Because I am just not trying to accidentally get that one wrong.
Totally. Understandable.
Yeah.
KF. I almost said KC for some reason. That's not right.
Kevin Falk is 44 years old. He was last
got plenty of good years
active in 2011.
Yeah.
Which now, by the way, at 2011, 10 years ago. That one's weird. That's a weird one for me. 2011 feels like it should have been like 5 years ago. But not the case. Do you know how many years Kevin Falk was with the New England Patriots? A running back.
Yeah, probably like 9. 9 to 11, I would say.
I got him with 12 here.
Ooh. I knew he was like, it was like the only.
1999, was there till 2011, won 3 rings.
Yeah, it was the only team I ever remembered him being with. He was just he was a third down back too forever. He
started 47 games in 12 years.
He is what James White is now. Like James White will play for the Patriots for 12 years probably, just catching a few passes here and there.
He had, this is a weird angle for the show to take him the AFC Championship game week. He had 3,600 rushing yards and 3,700 receiving yards.
Ooh, do it all back.
But he caught for more yards than he ran for.
Mm-hmm. He was ahead of his time.
Really was.
Chiefs would spend a first-round pick on him. He's basically a slot receiver.
You can go Kevin Falk yourself. Falk. Really got to enunciate.
At JB Brisco, at Beards McFly, at Not That Rudy, at Sports Radio 810. Just do it already.
If we learned anything in 2020, it's that life is unpredictable. There are some things that you just can't control. All the more reason why you need to appreciate and hold tight those special people in your life. That relationship you know you can count on no matter what. At Diamonds Direct, your love is our passion. Your relationship is why we exist, and we stand ready to help you create those memorable moments in 2021 that celebrate and solidify those unbreakable bonds. Our selection of precious rare diamonds has never been greater. From a simple 1-carat princess cut to a breathtaking 10-carat round brilliant, we have your perfect diamond in stock every day at the guaranteed best value price in America. And even in unpredictable times, Diamonds Direct's commitment to you will never waver. We promise the largest selection, the highest quality, the best value, the strongest warranties, and the most unforgettable experience. So as life gets back to normal this new year, remember, cling to the ones you adore by showing them how much they mean to you. And we'll always be here to help. Diamonds Direct.
At 119th and Row.
Hi, I'm Fred Ramsey.
And I'm Mark Tobin. Hey, folks, if you're not busy Saturday mornings from 6 to 7 a.m., well, I hope you'll join us for the Midwest Outdoors, brought to you by Reed Chevrolet St. Joe.
Join us and our expert guests, and we'll be talking about hunting and fishing, dog training. We'll give you tips, pass along stories, and most important, share some laughs along the way.
That's right. We cover it all, from crappie to waterfowl, and we'll tell you how to cook it, too.
The Midwest Outdoors, brought to you by Reed Chevrolet, Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
The cold weather has arrived here in the Midwest, and the deer are moving more than ever. You know what that means. Whether you're hunting for that trophy buck or trying to fill the freezer, Bushnell has the gear you need to have success in the stand during the winter months. Having a quality rangefinder can make or break your hunt. You can hunt with confidence when you use one of our feature-packed prime laser rangefinders with ARC technology. And with 2 times the brightness, Bushnell's rangefinders offer the best low-light performance on the market. Visit the all-new Bushnell.com and order one today.
When you want Chiefs, follow the leader. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Running the option. Keeps it. Oh, no. That's Mac Wilson. He's down, Jim.
He got hit in the back of the head and kind of knocked the wind out of him and everything else. We took him out. He's doing great right now.
Nothing really changed, man. We still had the fire in us. We know that we could score points with Chad, and we could move the ball down the field with Chad.
Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hey, Kansas City, how about a new career that is economic and pandemic proof? How about the chance to get paid to learn a trade? Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric has a career for you. Reach out to them today at anthonyphce.com/careers or call 913-268-4669 and see how you can get a paycheck while you learn. Again, 913-268-4669.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Technicians you can trust with your house keys.
Championship Barbecue is now available at your fingertips with the new Joe's Kansas City Barbecue online ordering app. Place your order for the legendary Z-Man or Rocket Pig sandwiches, slabs of ribs, or a burn-end dinner right now. It's just a few clicks from your smartphone, and your order will be hot and ready for curbside pickup. The new Joe's Kansas City Barbecue app is perfect for a weeknight dinner with the family or feeding your entire office. So don't wait. Download the brand new Joe's Kansas City Barbecue app today.
Our friends at American Shaman have a smoking hot new product I'm just burning to share with you. Shaman Smokes come in a pack of 20. They're available in cherry, grape, menthol, and original unflavored hemp. So when you're feeling the drag, spark up a Shaman Smoke for the satisfying and relaxing effects of legal hemp. Shaman Smokes are not intoxicating and contain absolutely no nicotine. Ask for Shaman Smokes at your favorite convenience store or pick them up at your local American Shaman. Shaman Smokes from American Shaman. Life is better with the feather.
Chiefs versus Bills, Sunday at 5:40 on Sports Radio 810 WHB. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
We're number 4. We're number 4. We're number 4. We're number 4. Our number 4. You can go to hell.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
There's a bunch of stuff that we still need to get to. We'll do it over the course of the next hour or so. Then Tucker Franklin will join us for the 10 o'clock hour. We'll do some power rankings, talk to him about Chiefs Bills, and generally just have a good old rowdy time with Tucker. Back in the building, separated by a sheet of plexiglass, and we will... It'll be good to have him back in the building. So we'll do that at 10. A ton of other topics to get to, and a bunch of audio that we'll get to at the top of next hour as well. I will also address a Twitch comment right now from Iced Pyro. Said, so I came in late. First of all, shame on you. What happened, Rudy? Hold on.
I hit my knee.
You looked like someone just came in there and shot you
Yeah,
in the knee.
I hit my knee on the corner of the desk. I do it every day. Multiple times.
Ice Pyro said I came in late. Why does Josh have flour all over him? The flannel that I'm wearing is high fashion, distressed, like it's got like fashionable bleach on it. I got it. It was pretty cheap. I bought it online. And it matches all. I'm wearing like an 810 shirt and a Chiefs hat, and it's red and black, and it's lighter than a jacket, but it's better than wearing like a long sleeve shirt or like a sweater or something because it's not that cold. I don't have to defend myself. I do. I'm extremely insecure. Please stop making fun of the way I look and the things I wear.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hindsight is 20/20. 2020 was a brutal year with a lot we couldn't control. Pandemic, economy, unemployment. What can we control? Our job, our career. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
No one gives you more NFL and Chiefs coverage than Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Henny rolling out, throws it, Hill! And the Chiefs are heading to the AFC Championship game.
Listen every night this week at 7 p.m. to The Red Zone with Todd Levo as he previews the AFC Championship game against the Buffalo Bills. It's showtime.
Only Andy Reid gets it shotgun on 4th and it is.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hey, Kansas City, Stephen St. John here to report that KC football just keeps breaking records. And now it's time for the postseason. If the Chiefs play smart, they could be headed to another championship. And if you want to play smart, see my friends at Roberts Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC. They know you need a vehicle for the long haul. If you have a non-GM trade-in, they're offering additional conquest cash of $750 and more cash allowances. Get a deal like this 2021 GMC Acadia SUV was $44,830, now only $36,912. That's more than $7,900 off. I own a GMC Acadia and absolutely love it. It keeps my family safe, and I know it's going to be around for a long time. Go see why they just make it easy to buy a car at Roberts Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC. Go online to robertsrobinson.com. Check them out on Facebook or call 816-630-3151 and ask for the personal shopper. GMC, we are professional grade.
Menards has everything you need to make your home a better place to live. Save big money on all the top name brand products you know and love, like Tide and Era laundry detergent, Bounty paper towels, Swiffer dusters, Charmin bath tissue, and more. A 96-load bottle of Era liquid laundry detergent is just $7.99 now at Menards. Prices are good until January 31st.
Save big money at Menards. You know what makes good sense? Staying safe this holiday season while spending time with your family and friends. Let us cater your safe and happy holidays. Now that makes good sense. So take us home to your family. Who's to say you can't buy love? Just take a bite of a good sense of good sense. Good sense makes good sense.
Whether you're looking for energy savings for the winter or updating your home office or man cave, One Stop Decorating is the place for beautiful energy-efficient window coverings. One Stop Decorating offers free in-home or virtual consultations, or you can come into one of their 3 beautiful showrooms to see all the window coverings in their Hunter Douglas galleries. Ask about smart shades that can be controlled by Google, Alexa, and HomeKit. 913-270-0408. 913-270-0408 or onestopdecorating.com. Your home, your windows, your style.
Chiefs versus Bills. Pregame starts Saturday at 5 p.m. with 24 hours of pregame on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Kansas City's hometown sports station. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Jim Basketball. They haven't lost a game away from Tinseltown, and the defending champion Lakers looking to stay unbeaten on the road in Milwaukee. Just over 2 minutes to go in this one. Lakers up on the Bucks 105-100. LeBron has 29. Milwaukee led by Drew Holiday and Giannis each with 22 points. Next 3 for the Memphis Grizzlies postponed. As Woj reports, this is the way the league is now handling COVID-19, within teams taking them out of circulation once a roster has been exposed to the virus. There is only one more NFL head coaching opening. 6 of the 7 head gigs have been filled. The Eagles, the latest, hiring Nick Sirianni as their head coach, formerly the Colts offensive coordinator. Only the Texans opening remains. In advance of the AFC title game against the Bills, Patrick Mahomes on the field Wednesday, taking all the snaps in practice for the Kansas City Chiefs. His counterpart, a fellow MVP candidate, Josh Allen.
We're not going to change who we are. Like I said, it's obviously the biggest game, like I said, because it's the next one, but we understand that we don't have to be anyone different than who we are. And if we can go out there and execute and play the game the right way and trust each other and play complementary football, odds are the results are going to be pretty good.
Yeah, Championship Sunday kicks off with the NFC title game. Brady and the Bucks, Rodgers and the Packers from Lambeau. 3:05 Eastern is the kickoff. Nick Saban hiring former Texans head coach Bill O'Brien as Alabama's offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. In the NHL, Alex Ovechkin amongst 4 key Washington Capitol players that are out for the next 4 games because of COVID-19 protocols.
It's a Football Friday with me, Greeny, as we get you set for the 2 biggest games of the football year. The young guns in the AFC, the legends in the NFC. Will be the place to talk about it. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN+.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
I now have a craving for this wonderful, totally real, not at all artificial synthetic juice product that I don't know that I've had in a decade. And I just kind of want to pound a little Sunny D.
Why you
and don't make that a liner.
Too late.
With Joshua Brisco.
And I just kind of want to pound a little Sunny D.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hour 2 of Almost Entirely Sports, getting ready for the AFC Championship game here on this Thursday. I don't know why I told you it was hour 2. I don't know why I told you it was Thursday. It's 45 degrees outside here at 9:02 p.m. in Kansas City.
Oh, you said that, and I thought, wait, is it not the second hour on Thursday? What day is it?
No, I mean,
I
it
was
is,
got confused for a second. I was like, what the heck?
Right
What
then?
the heck has happened?
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, it is 9 o'clock on a Thursday, but like, that's totally useless. Absolutely, just like, again, I might as well give you. And now we go to Rudy Salazar with traffic and our Sports Radio 810 traffic copter. Rudy, go ahead.
There's a lot of traffic. Cars are everywhere.
Oh God! Like
There's a pile up.
Oh no! Oh, the carnage! Here's a piece of trivia for you, really quick.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Because I've got the game on the on NFL Network in here. It is the Chiefs Patriots AFC Championship game, and they scored after this anyway because of the Brady pick, and then or no, did they? I don't remember.
Yeah. Brady ended up throwing a pick.
Brady pick, which was Dan Sorensen, and then the Chiefs went on. And
his name really is involved in a lot of big plays.
It's freaking everywhere, dude. But so the Chiefs scored 2 plays later after the Brady pick anyway.
I do have a question for you about this player after we do this trivia thing.
Okay, do you remember there was the Julian Edelman botched,
grazed off the finger
grazed,
thing,
the grazed. This touchdown with Damian Williams was sick, actually. It was a 2-yard pass, and the blocking was perfect.
Is that when the Chiefs scored too early? When everybody got mad?
No, they're still. I mean, it's still 7 and a half minutes left.
Okay.
I forgot. There were 38 points scored in the fourth quarter of this game by both teams combined. The Julian Edelman nearly tipped punt. Do you remember the player for the Chiefs that scooped up that touchdown and ran it back? Ultimately ruled not a fumble.
So I'm guessing, just based off what you're saying, it's a player who is obviously like not on the Chiefs currently.
I asked you this during here's behind the curtain. What was your first guess?
Sorensen, absolutely.
Not Dan Sorensen. He had the pick following.
So knowing that it wasn't Sorensen, because I assume every big play in the history of the Chiefs have ever made is by Daniel Sorensen, dating back to 1960, whenever the franchise first had their first game.
Right, absolutely.
As it should be.
Please submit your guesses also on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Leave your best guess.
I'm gonna go with. I'm down to 2 guys.
Okay. Tell me the 2 guys. I will not react.
Okay. Jordan Lucas, Steven Nelson.
Garrick Dieter.
Oh, my goodness.
We almost had a Garrick Dieter AFC Championship game touchdown.
Goodness. I forgot about
Garrick Dieter.
The Chiefs, Julian Edelman. Or Cole Beasley, as they say now.
Someone on Facebook, who again, I'm sorry I can't see your name. Our Facebook chat is not working as well as the rest of them. Ask how the hell do you find you on Twitch? Great question, empty username. If you want to watch the show, you can do it in a variety of places now. You can watch us on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page, facebook.com/sportsradio810. The Sports Radio 810 YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/810WHB. And the Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/sportsradio810. Theoretically, you could probably Google any of those with Sports Radio 810 and find it there. But the Twitch URL, super easy, twitch.tv/sportsradio810.
And then you can follow us and you'll get notifications every time we go live.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. I never thought about that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed Twitch. Twitch is obviously, it's made for this, basically.
Yeah.
And it's been wonderful. So there's that.
Brent on Twitch did guest Dieter before.
Congratulations, Brent.
So Brent New.
What's his name?
Brent New.
His name is Brent New?
Yeah.
You just said it 3 times. It sounded like a boat sputtering.
I get it.
Here's a couple things. Did you need to go change the channel, Rudy? You told me you have a. Okay, you knocked that out. I'm gonna talk about a couple other things here real quick. Again, the update of the day on Patrick Mahomes. Someone mentioned this in one of the chats earlier that I thought it was a pretty good way of them saying it, actually. Yesterday, Mahomes was a full participant in a limited practice, and today, Mahomes is a limited participant on full snaps. It sounds like he took almost every one of the starter snaps, and that's certainly very good news. There was no hitting in practice today, where you're not going to find a lot of that around the NFL at this point. Honestly, it's late in the season, and dudes are tired of being hit. But had the helmet on, and I think did everything they asked him to do. Eric Bieniemy said he looked good. Andy Reid said it was all working pretty well. So I think we're well on our way to seeing Patrick Mahomes quarterback the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game against the Bills coming up on this Sunday. You can hear that game right here on Sports Radio 810. The AFC Championship game and NFC Championship game back-to-back on these airwaves. I'll be back on the air Sunday morning at 9. I'll be here to do a little pregame show, and then we'll all watch or listen to the NFC Championship game back here for Chiefs. And then, which again, you can hear the NFC Championship game here as well. Then the Chiefs game will be here, and then as soon as it's over, the Sports Radio 810 WHB post-game show, hosted by me, presented by CBD American Shaman, will start right after the game does. We'll hear from all the pressers, all the audio. We'll bring it all to you live right here on Sports Radio 810. The Chiefs did have their media availability today, and eventually we are going to talk about Dan Campbell at length, the new Lions head coach. If you don't know what the deal is with him, hold on, and we'll get to him, and it's going to really be excellent. But the Chiefs had their coordinators all talk today. Reed also spoke today. A few players talked, but I want to start with Eric Bieniemy while we're here. In fact, Rudy, I'll tell you. Let's start with how Patrick Mahomes looked today, because this is the sort of little soundbite piece from Eric Bieniemy that has made its rounds, and he also talked about wanting to be a head coach and all that stuff. And that story, we'll talk more about that after the season ends, whenever that is.
The answer may surprise you.
It's that he wants to be a head coach.
Okay, ruin it, I guess.
See how I felt with your Todd Haley?
We're even now.
We're even. But Bieniemy did talk about how Mahomes looked at practice today. He almost avoided answering the question, and then he accidentally gave us the best quote of the day.
You know what? Obviously, I'll let Coach deal with all that, but he looks like Pat to me. So he's been great in meetings. You know, he's fun. He's energetic. So you can always count on Pat being Pat.
He almost avoided it, but looks good to me. Pat looks good to me. So, I mean, at this point, I just think we would know more if it looked worse, basically. If he took no snaps yesterday, if he took really limited snaps today, I'd be worried. He took all the snaps yesterday, and I am led to believe that he took almost every snap today.
I say Reed said he took most of the starter snaps today.
And beyond that, the question was if he took all of the starter snaps, and then Reed said, yeah, and then he said he took most of them, and then he said, like, yeah, again. Again, Nate Taylor's sort of conspiracy theory is that Rick Burkholder reminded Andy Reid that Chad Henne needed to take like at least one snap.
That's what I was thinking. Henne took one snap, which means most snaps is
technically true.
Correct.
Absolutely. Not a violation of any protocols or anything, but it genuinely seems like Mahomes
and
is
he
good.
Was limited to all but one snap.
The thing, and we're not going to spend the next hour on this because I'm kind of tired of talking about this, but all the questions we've had about, like, is he actually concussed? How are they going to manage this? What's the risk management that you're going to do? If Mahomes was in fuzzy brain, glassy eyes territory this week, he would just be in a sensory deprivation chamber for 5 days to try to then see how close you can get. It seems right now that he's checking boxes and moving on pretty well. So for the second time in his young career, it seems like he had a very scary-looking injury that is not going to be as bad as it once looked. So that's certainly good news. One other thing that I thought was interesting from Eric Bieniemy, he was asked a question that we've kind of kicked around for a while. But, hey, are the Chiefs holding on to plays to save for prime time, for the big games? Is there some extra special sauce getting sprinkled over these plays as the AFC Championship game comes around?
You know what, Miss Karen, I'm not going to even give that away because we have so many tons of plays. You just roll out that Rolodex, just choose a few, pull them out from the Joe files. And but I'll say this, at this particular time of the year, you just want your guys to make sure that they play assignment sound football. Will we have a wrinkle or two? Probably so. But when it's all said and done with, we just want to make sure we're putting our guys in the best situation to go out there and play as hard and as fast as they can. And then when it's all said and done with, we can end up celebrating and going to pursue our goal in Tampa.
The Joe Files, I'm 98% sure, is referring to Joe Blameyer, who Andy Reid credits all the time. Passing game analyst and assistant quarterbacks coach is his actual title.
Offensive coordinator. You can just throw that in as the title.
That dude,
the Chiefs. Yeah.
His name's been mentioned in too many press conferences for him not to get a nice raise and a new promotion this offseason.
There's always I can't say this is necessarily how it's been for Andy Reid's entire coaching career on offense, because I didn't follow the coaching tree path while he was in Philadelphia as much as really all of us have followed in Kansas City. There has always been the clear next successor, the next in line, and then typically always at least one guy, if not a couple guys, where you're these are also guys. Like there is this path, which, not to get too far off topic, but when we talk about eventually, the Chiefs having to replace, eventually they'll replace Eric Bieniemy, eventually they'll have to replace Mike Kafka.
Yep.
And there's just always some really good guys that are just
always a guy
there to step in and take those spots.
Brett Veach was essentially assistant to the regional manager, for Andy Reid at one point. Blameyer was a receiver at Delaware, by the way,
which is where Matt Nagy was a quarterback, I believe.
Is that true? That might be right.
I think Matt Nagy was at Delaware.
I think that's right.
Was Brett Veach also at Delaware? Because didn't Brett Veach and Matt Nagy go to college together? Wasn't that their thing? I gotta look this up.
There's enough of those lines that I cannot yet. So Nagy was at Delaware from 97 to 2000. Blameyer was there 2002 to 2005. So that would be theoretically coincidental, unless they have some other shared connections from there. But
Brett Veach, college, Delaware.
What years?
He was there from 1998 to 2001. He played running back, wide receiver, and return specialist. So those are guys who
he and Nagy would have overlapped, but he and Blameyer wouldn't have just by the years they were there.
Him and Nagy, because I remember that was the thing. Nagy obviously threw passes to him.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
But that's probably where the connection, I imagine that's how they met, being Delaware people.
But that's the Joe Files, I imagine, are coming from Joe Blameyer.
Man, look at Delaware just producing football geniuses.
Seriously.
Joe Flacco, Matt Nagy. Elite guys there.
Future Chiefs offensive coordinator, Joe Flacco.
I hope that happens.
I do too.
At least assistant to the quarterback coach.
You know what I just thought about, and I don't actually want Joe Flacco to coach Patrick Mahomes. I just decided.
Well, to be fair, any future, I think you could get Adam Gase as Mahomes' coach. I'm using air quotes because nobody's really coaching Mahomes anymore. Let's be honest. Mahomes is just doing his thing. Mahomes is just shut up, Adam, you dork.
What do you think would happen if Patrick Mahomes told Eric Bieniemy to shut up and shove it?
Well, he respects Eric Bieniemy. He would never do that.
Eric Bieniemy would squish him into a paper ball and throw him into a garbage can. And he's smaller than Patrick Mahomes is, by the way.
Absolutely.
I still believe he would do that.
But like anybody on the Chiefs team, Garrett Dieter included, if Adam Gase was on this roster, they'd be stuffing him in a locker. You dork.
Yeah, all right.
Andy Reid would probably be right there with him.
At the very least, Andy Reid walks into Adam Gase getting shoved into a locker by the entire offense.
And just everybody freezes and stops and just looks at him.
No, and then he just pulls a Yui.
That's what I'm saying. So I think everybody just stops. Like Adam Gase is half of his body is in. Mahomes has got his hand on his head, just push him in, and then it's just a stop motion. Andy Reid just turns around, walks away, and then you just shove him back in and you call him dork.
Yeah, that's probably right. The one thing I thought was interesting from that Bieniemy audio that we played 97 minutes ago is that, will there be new wrinkles? Probably. Yeah, yes, there absolutely will be new wrinkles. The new wrinkles part of it, I think, is just worth noting because that's something that I talked about last week, and I'm not an offensive genius. I'm just paying attention. There's always new stuff, and there's always stuff that is built off of old stuff. And it's just two things the Chiefs do all the time. The first time they ran Ferrari right, that was a new thing. Mahomes in motion, that's nuts. Well, then, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks later, they did it again, and the play was different, but it was with that motion. They set up things in Act 1 that pay off in Act 3 all the time. That's just a part of what they do. And then there's also, especially in games like this, new stuff. You got the Super Bowl last year, you got Rose Bowl right. We had not seen that. Football had not seen that in 60 years or whatever. But then you'll see the stuff that they did in week 4 that you thought was a one-off, and then you'll realize actually not only was that not a one-off, that was something to make them think twice, and then you do something different with that same look 13 weeks later. That's what they do. But also, I do think that it's true. I think there's something about the foot on the gas stuff that I'm still not totally sure I have an answer for, because that feels real to me, and I haven't had a reason to be kind of nudged off of that completely yet, where these games do end up being closer. They're not really playing for blowouts. They're playing for wins, which is not like heinous, but is something that I note. But I do think that it's unreasonable to say, like, hey, are you saving the good plays? Do you have your break glass in case of emergency 3 best trick plays? And I mean, they're going to have those plays for like every situation, basically. And so I don't think that they're using their second best play, in a tight game whenever they think their best play is discernibly better there. Like, let's say this. The 4th and 1 play against the Browns. The Chiefs ran something really similar to beat the Dolphins a month prior. In fact, Tucker wrote about that. We might talk to him about that whenever he gets here. But the Chiefs basically ran a very similar play 30-some days later that worked against the Dolphins. But also, after the game, I can't remember if it was Henne or Andy Reid that said this, but one of the two of them, I think it was Henne. So they really like that play there because they know the Browns like to run man coverage in high leverage situations, and that play is absolutely unguardable in man. It might be unguardable, period. It's just an unguardable 1-yard play. Well, they used that to beat the Dolphins, and then they use it again here, but situationally, the reason they used it again here is because they knew some stuff about the Browns that was going to make that play more likely to succeed. That's not them, saving the good plays. It's them picking the stuff that works best in those situations, and that was obviously a very high leverage situation as well. I just think that all makes sense. So I mean, I think there's a little bit of a give and take there, but the new wrinkle stuff, that's very real, and then using the plays that work in that situation, something that I think we're still even just trying to piece together all of the parts of that.
I would also say some of that too, I imagine, comes down to like they have plays that are literally designed to only really work, not necessarily work against the Bills, but to use for the Bills, like evolutions of plays that they called in the Bills game, where it's we're showing you this same formation, we're doing a lot of the same things here. But now all of a sudden, here's the wrinkle where, like, I imagine when that game was over with, Andy Reid had plays that he probably thought of in the game that were like, if we face these guys in the playoffs, like, here's 5 plays that this is the only game we will use them in. Because
we'll basically drop a remix on this play that we would use again in January if we need to. Yep, I think that's true. I'm going to save Spags for the other side of the break. We'll take a break earlier than we did last hour, Rudy. I'm telling you that because whenever we do a segment until the 38-minute mark after the hour, you start getting nervous. And I understand. It's
I also didn't even realize we were at the 38 mark last time, I'll be honest.
We're having a good time.
We're
just having a good time. But I do want to hear from Dave Tobe here. This is an answer that it comes in 2 parts. You'll hear Sam Mellinger kind of follow up in here. But Tobe was asked about the misses that I forgot. Also, Mahomes went down in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots, and it was like hobbling with like his hip and stuff. Totally forgot about that. He's had some injured luck. I think maybe it's been bad luck that seems okay because it hasn't been a huge deal. But it seems more likely that he's had good luck on plays that could have ended up a lot worse anyway.
Which is certainly part of just like football. Like sometimes you just need injury luck, right? Like,
absolutely.
The amount of times guys get hit and just like bounce right back up,
Brady has played for 97 years and he had one really bad one.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, he's been...
But that's not luck. That's drinking 56 glasses of water a day.
Right.
And your avocado ice cream.
Right. And never eating strawberries.
Devil's fruit.
And then also your doctor is a doctor who's not a doctor, who the Patriots have banned from your facilities. And instead of eating strawberries, you're eating human growth hormones. What? Who said that? Who said that?
Tucker, where you at?
Tucker, did you say that? Who said that? Let's hear from Dave Tobe. He was asked about the misses that Butker had on Sunday. There was the missed extra point and the missed field goal, short field goal at that. Tobe was asked what went wrong there, and as you get the more information over the course of this longer answer, it led me to a takeaway that I think is really, really worth your time.
It was just an operational glitch that we had, with the rotation of the ball. The laces came down in a weird spot. Not one time all year did that happen, or in practice for that matter. And it happened twice. And both of those kicks, we rotate in a different way. It's just an operational glitch that we cleaned it up. And he had a great week of practice, and he was on point this week. So we're good.
Operational glitch is a great term, by the way. I'm going to use that a lot. But do I understand you right? Like the hold was the hold that spun the ball the wrong way, or what?
Okay,
what exactly?
Winchester is so good as a snapper. He can count the rotations with his snap, where the laces never appear for him. For the hold. But in this case, the laces appeared. Now, there was a combination with the weather and this little bit short, whatever we did there. We figured it out this week, but the laces showed up to where they were facing Butker. And then Tommy has to deal with, getting them out of the way, which it's a matter of which way we're going to rotate the ball. So, he rotated it, where Butker could see the laces for a longer period of time. That's not what we want to do. So we want to rotate it the opposite way so it goes away. I didn't want to get real technical with it, but I guess you forced me to it. But that's really what it is. That's why I just said it's an operational thing that we got it ironed out and fixed.
Here's why I think that clip is so interesting. First of all, Mellinger got a coach to go into real detail on something that we never really get that much detail on. So it's just a good answer. That kind of stuff I enjoy because I don't really know that much about kicking or care that much about the intricacies of kicking, if I'm being terribly honest. Like, it just that's not something that naturally interests me or whatever. But to get a closer microscope on exactly how detailed that process is, the fact that James Winchester can snap the ball knowing how many times it is going to rotate back to the hands of the holder is crazy. That seems impossible. I imagine that every NFL long snapper can do that. It seems impossible. But that's something that he does every time. And then, according to Tobe there, twice in that game, the snap got back to Townsend with an extra, quarter rotation, half rotation, 3/4 rotation, whatever. Or didn't rotate as much as they needed it to, I don't know. But it got back there in the way that's not how it goes in practice, in the way that's not how it goes in games this year. Well, then the ball goes down, and then Townsend needed to, he tried to spin the ball one way. He should have tried to spin it the other way. There's your wrong direction on that rotation, and then Butker kicks it, and it goes wide. Hits the upright, whichever, depending on which one you're looking at, whatever. Misses it, though. There are 3 people in that little triumvirate, and I think at least on those particular kicks, Tobe would probably tell you, I think he basically told us there, that Butker was the one guy that didn't mess up on some level, some infinitesimally small level, but on some level. But whenever he misses that kick, Chiefs Facebook is posting about trading Harrison Butker this offseason. And it's like, well, this is I don't expect everyone to inherently think about all those other moving parts, but whenever the special teams coach gives you that information, you should take that and try to remember. I mean, and then I think we've been pretty good on this show about not doing this. The conversation about, does Harrison Butker have the yips or what's wrong with Harrison Butker? There have probably been times where missed kicks have been his fault. He also talked today, and I didn't grab one of his clips because I thought Tobe's explanation was the most interesting one. But Butker said, on those kicks, yeah, I still could have kicked it better, different, whatever. Everyone's taken some portion of responsibility there, and that's great. But whenever you see on those, you go, oh man, he missed an extra point again. He's missing short field goals again. Is Harrison Butker broken? The special teams coach, with no reason to lie about this one, is telling you, nah, our long snapper made an incredibly rare mistake, and then Townsend spun the ball the wrong way where he could have covered up Winchester's extremely rare mistake, but he actually either didn't or made it worse or whatever. And it's just, even if it doesn't really change much for most people in terms of how they talk about Harrison Butker, I hope that explanation gets some portion of your football mind and sticks there, because it's such a good example of how often we blame the last person that we see. Or, I mean, even we saw this quicker in real time, but that Chad Henne incompletion to Travis Kelce, that ball is thrown and lands incomplete, and you think, dang it, Chad Henne. When in reality, Travis Kelce ran the wrong route, did not get the full play. Honestly, there's a chance that Chad Henne actually never said the full play. You know what I'm saying? There's a chance that something went wrong in the huddle, but Kelce took it upon himself. And Henne said after the game that Kelce did make a mistake of some sort there. So that seems universally agreed upon. But I think we would be better off trying to get the specifics and trying to be a little bit less results oriented in where our credit and blame end up, because it's very rarely that simple, especially in the NFL. So thought that was worthwhile. And also specifically to the Chiefs special teams, I don't think that Butker has the yips at this point. And again, earlier in the year, there was more. Tobe did talk more about, like, yeah, Butker's trying to figure some things out. The whole trio is trying to work some stuff out. But on this one, a lot of people got very nervous whenever he missed 2 kicks. And then we've got Tobe's explanation there that basically, again, everyone except for Butker made a mistake. And then Butker wasn't able to fix it himself. So something that I think is worth keeping in mind as we have these conversations from now into the foreseeable future. Spags talk today, and also we're eventually going to play this Dan Campbell audio. We'll get to that whenever we come back.
Did you know you can listen to Almost Entirely Sports anywhere, anytime? Well, you can. Just search for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcasts.
Drive for the win and score huge savings at your Kansas City Acura dealers. As Kansas City makes their playoff push, we're pushing out deals, deals, deals on award-winning Acura SUVs and sedans. For a limited time, score jaw-dropping lease deals and low APR offers on the all-new 2021 TLX sedan and the 2021 RDX crossover SUV. The MVP has arrived. Pre-order the all-new redesigned 3-row 2022 MDX SUV and experience the future of luxury performance. Visit your Kansas City Acura dealers today.
Hey folks, this is Nate Bucati for my friend Gary Joslin and Joslin's Jewelry. Look, in this day and age, most jewelry stores won't give you the service or knowledge that you need. If you want to work with real Kansas Cityans and get a great diamond at a great price, trust me, go to Joslin's. They're all about making friends and having long-term relationships. That's why they do such a great business with their in-house repairs. If you take your ring into one of those big box jewelry stores because it needs a repair, be prepared to pay all kinds of markups and fees that you don't need. That's not what they do at Joslin's. At Joslin's, you get an honest quote, a fair price, and the repairs that you need. And they've got a great selection of diamonds. So give them a call today at 913-341-2021, or you can look them up online at joslinsjewelry.com. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry, for the best that's yet to come.
Hi, I'm Rick Edelman. With the inauguration behind us, we can all expect new laws and regulations affecting the economy, taxes, student loans, trade, commerce, and more. What does it all mean for your investments, and what should you do now as a result? Get the answers in my special presentation on the election and your investments. The webinar is Tuesday, January 26th at 3 and 8 p.m. I'll show you the impact political parties have had on the stock market, and I'll also give you the 3-step investment strategy you need right now. The webinar's free. Just register at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com. At Edelman Financial Engines, we've been helping folks just like you get through every election since 1986, and we can help you now, too. You'll be surprised at what I have to tell you, so if you missed this webinar before, this is your last chance to see it. Join me January 26th at 3 and 8 p.m. Eastern. Register now at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
Sunday, you'll hear two teams punch their tickets for Super Bowl 55 right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. At 2, it's Brady and Rodgers at Lambeau, head-to-head in the playoffs for the first time. Then at 5:40, we'll bring you Westwood One's live play-by-play from Arrowhead when Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs face Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Your exclusive home for the AFC and NFC championship games. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Our friends at American Shaman have a smoking hot new product I'm just burning to share with you. Shaman Smokes come in a pack of 20. They're available in cherry, grape, menthol, and original unflavored hemp. So when you're feeling the drag, spark up a Shaman Smoke for the satisfying and relaxing effects of legal hemp. Shaman Smokes are not intoxicating and contain absolutely no nicotine. Ask for Shaman Smokes at your favorite convenience store or pick them up at your local American Shaman. Shaman Smokes from American Shaman. Life is better with the feather.
Chiefs versus Bills. Pregame starts Saturday at 5 p.m. with 24 hours of pregame on Sports Radio 810 WHB. You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Really, I must have blacked out. I do not remember saying that that's how we were going to start the show.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Something else that happened today that's not quite as interesting as what the Lions' new head coach did, but something the Chargers' new head coach said. New Chargers head coach Brandon Staley, a man who I would not recognize if he walked into the studio and sat down across from me wearing a T-shirt that said, "I'm Chargers' new head coach, Brandon Staley." But he is the new Chargers head coach. And he said this today. I'm going to quote Daniel Popper, Chargers beat writer for The Athletic here. He tweeted, quote, "The thing about analytics is they drive better decision-making." Quote, unquote. Says he wants to be at the, quote, forefront of that movement, unquote. Adds that, quote, context and feel, unquote, are crucial when applying data to decisions. The context and feel, quote, unquote, thing makes me a little bit nervous because part of the thing with analytics is that they don't have feel, you know? That's part of the advantage to them. Like, there's some truth to that inherently, I think, where, you know, I'm trying to think of a situation. Maybe this isn't true. Because, you know, if there's a situation in which you could go for it on 4th and inches, but there's 2 seconds left in the game and you're down by 2 points and you're at the 10-yard line, you could kick the field goal and win right there, you know, instead of trying to win with a touchdown for no reason. The thing is, like a 4th down model or win percentage-based model would take that into account, so maybe that's not necessarily true.
There's a little bit of an injury type situation, right? Maybe a situation dictates you should go for it, but you're down to your third string quarterback, and it's like, well,
right?
Nathan Peterman starting playing now, so
right.
You know, maybe throwing the ball isn't our best idea.
I think it's just probably a sort of a common sense thing in most instances. Or the context and feel, quote unquote, should be the extreme minority of the portion of your conversation about analytics. Whatever. Anyway, Chargers head coach might be out here for some of these analytics. I'm interested in seeing what that turns into.
Which is good. Like, again, like I do think there's something to just the idea in general of, like, I think, and this is typically because, like, baseball's a sport where analytics is common, right? Like football is kind of starting to move in that direction, but baseball has been fully there. And, like, I've kind of always believed to an extent you should never be fully one way or the other, right? If you're fully the eye test or fully the analytics, like, you leave a little bit of, like you can have some faults in there. I think there's a little bit that you're missing. You want to use both, right? You want to use numbers to, if your eyes see something, you want to use the numbers to essentially either back it up, or if your eyes are missing something that the numbers are telling you you're missing, that's where the numbers kind of come into play, right? Like, it's a little bit of using both. So I think there's something to, like, I don't necessarily like the phrase using your guts, because maybe this just is we're so used to older coaches saying that that phrase has kind of become it's
become a bit of a red flag.
Yes, and maybe it shouldn't be as much of a red flag, or necessarily is always a red flag, right? Like maybe that is a situation where, depending on who is saying it, it's not inherently a bad thing, but it feels like it because I'm so used to older coaches being like, well, my gut told me I should punt the ball on 4th and inches from the 50-yard line.
Right. The relationship of those things matters. And that's true. Because again, the one thing, and this is a bit more kind of, I don't know. This is a personal reading of some things. This might not be perfectly based with, but also this is a radio show, and sometimes we say our opinions. So this is an opinion thing.
Be careful now.
I know. Let's get political. I'd like to talk about what religions I think make sense and what don't.
And whips.
Anywho, I love Drew Brees, but I think that you are way more likely to find this. Something Ethan Douglas tweeted about. I can blame it on him. I think you're way more likely to find old school, rough and tumble, my gut coaches that say, I'm all about the eye test and bleep analytics, what are those, than you are to ever find anyone that says the only thing I care about is numbers and nothing that I see with my eyes matters.
And I assume we're talking about like in football, right?
Yeah.
Because I would say like in baseball, I think there are a lot of those guys. But again, baseball, this is the one. Baseball is behind on literally everything but analytics. This is the one thing where they're out ahead of people.
And so I am within football, within the realm of football,
which I 100% agree with you on.
You'll find people whose expertise is strictly in the analytics of things, but that's okay. It's also fine that you have guys watching film who aren't. I think the analytics become a tool for all of that. But you have analytics experts that are saying, "Hey, take this and synthesize it with what you're seeing." Because there's a difference. I think maybe this is the differentiation I would make. There's a difference. It's, by the way, so crazy that Patrick Mahomes in his first year had 30 seconds to get within field goal range to send the AFC Championship game to overtime, and did it. And they got within touchdown range also. They just ran out of time. They should have won that game in regulation. The Chiefs should be working on a three-peat right now. I'm so mad about this game.
They probably should have blown out the Patriots, but the DC. Yeah, it's not all Bob Sutton's fault, but it's a decent amount.
A little bit. I'll say it's a little bit.
D4 deserves a little blame.
Yeah, a little bit. But he made a mistake. Bob Sutton had a bad plan.
That's
you know what
true.
I mean?
For years.
But I think there's a big differentiation between I am synthesizing what I see on film with analytics, and I'm going to go with my gut. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Taking in the analytics and taking in the film simultaneously, or even individually, that is work you're putting in. Sometimes I think feel and gut end up being something that's more like, I don't know, this is what my coach would have done 10 years ago, that kind of thing. So,
and I think some of the problem,
the gut thing gets me.
Yeah, I think some of the problem too is that we see with more the go with your gut, generation. It's typically with analytics, not in everything, but a lot sometimes in decision making you get results back, and maybe it's go for fourth down 50.7% of the time, which means you should go for it, but there's at least close enough to a 50-50 there that it's okay a little bit to use the how do I feel? Do I honestly think we can get this? Yada yada yada. Mm-hmm. The problem is that frequently.
Do we have a play that makes sense here? By the way,
exactly. Yeah,
that's part of it.
The problem is that so frequently, again, especially with a certain certain football guy, it's hey, this is a no-brainer. You should be doing this 90+% of the time. It's don't even consider the other option, and then you're like, well, my gut tells me that the other option's the way to go. Again, there are situations where even analytics can be a little bit more 50-50, and I think that's kind of where
that happens all the time.
Yeah, that's where your guts kind of come in, right? That's part of the reason why I think Andy Reid is an elite coach, because in those situations he typically still will make the right decision. The best coaches do, the worst coaches obviously don't.
Right.
The problem is so frequently coaches are just presented with a situation where it's clear this is what you do, and then they don't do it.
Again, I think the gut thing ends up being a terminology issue that I'm going to get hung up on but you're right. the Ben Baldwin's model, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't know what play you're gonna call.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so if your offensive line has been getting battered all day, and you think the only play I trust right here is a running play, well, then you probably need to rethink your strategy. The Chiefs had a play against the Browns that they were very confident in to get that yard, and so running it there was probably a pretty. I mean, Andy Reid said as much. It was an easy choice because you had a play that you knew was going to work, that you felt really good about that play working, and situationally the numbers would say go for it there. Yeah. You got to make sure you have a play that works there, though.
And I don't know what the number said for that specific play, but let's just say
it was in favor of going for it. But also the model didn't know that they had Chad Henne.
True. And part of my point is, let's even say that number was it was in favor, but it was even a little lower, say 65%. To Andy Reid,
I think it was in the high 50s.
Yeah. So to Andy Reid, that play, that situation with Tyreek Hill running the route, even with the quarterback like Chad Henne, in Andy Reid's mind, it might have been this is at 95%. This is easy. And some of that's analytics. Some of that's also a little bit of guts because Tyreek Hill can beat whoever's across from him, right? And Chad Henne, you've seen him enough. You're confident that he can hit a wide open Tyreek Hill a yard down the field
the run,
because he's a competent quarterback,
right? Yeah, I don't really know. I think I just saw that tweet again and wanted to discuss the fact that the Chargers head coach might be here for it.
Yeah, and it's tough, right? But that's partly why coaches get paid as much money as they do, because this is obviously none of this is super easy. Now there are some situations again where it is very easy. This is what you should do, and that's where the real problem comes into it. It's Jeff Fisher, who hasn't coached in forever, but it's just the first name that pops in my head, who is in a situation, is 4th and 1, down by 5,
right,
and decides to kick the field goal from the 15-yard line,
right. And if you're gonna also take into all the context into account, if you're the Chiefs, one of the reasons it gets so frustrating is if you have a 50-50 percentage, whatever, if it's a toss-up on Ben Baldwin's 4th down bot, I'm taking into account the context here, which is that your quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Your offense has Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and all these other dudes, and Andy Reid's calling the plays.
Honestly, this is where my gut would come to play. If it told me if it was honestly 40% or higher, I should go. So even there's 10% of that is in the you should punt category. My gut's going to tell me that Patrick Mahomes can probably get this.
Whoa, do you have the breaking news? Do you have the breaking news sound?
I can.
Do you have the breaking news sound, Rudy? Oh, this is a Woj bomb, Rudy. Rudy, we got a Woj bomb, Rudy.
Oh, no.
The Houston Rockets are acquiring a certain... Turn your mic on, Rudy.
Oh, no.
I would like to get this on.
What's happening?
The Houston Rockets are acquiring a certain Porter Jr.
Oh, I know what this is. Your face got
no!
Oh, my
The Rockets are acquiring Cleveland's Kevin Porter Jr. for a future projected second-round pick.
Oh, goodness.
I wish you would have put the camera on your face for the video just then. Because for a moment, your soul was crushed.
Because when you said news, the first thing that went to my mind was Michael Porter. You said what? You said news. You said Woj, and I knew it was Michael Porter Jr. But see, you didn't even have to say Porter Jr. My mind. You said news and Woj, and I was like Michael Porter Jr. Oh God, what's happened? And then you said Houston, and I was like, oh no, God, what happened? And then when you said Porter Jr., all of a sudden I remembered Kevin Porter Jr.
It all came together for a moment. It all came together.
That was heartbreaking.
Whoa! Hey, can I get the push notification? Can I get the? Can I just got another push notification? Can I get breaking news again?
Okay, I don't think my heart can take this.
Shams just tweeted Michael Porter Jr. retired. That's crazy. What a coincidence.
Retire on top, baby. I'm good with that.
Is he? Hold on. What?
Retire on top.
On top of what? A chiropractor table?
Retire with good memories in my head. His career didn't end due to a back injury. It ended due to COVID. I'll take that one. Michael Porter Jr. doesn't have COVID anymore, by the way, people.
I'm just upset that this segment didn't end on he ended on top of a chiropractor table. That's where this segment should have ended. I didn't even point it. I didn't even try to, but I'm just mad at myself. That's not where the segment ended.
It ended with Michael Porter Jr. on top.
I am just sort of genuinely worried for you to the day that you realize it's sort of no. I'm not. You know what? No. I'm gonna pull up from that one actually. We're about to go careening into it. No, we're good. Everything's fine. Except for Michael Porter Jr.'s back.
Take the show with you wherever you go. Listen live on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app and 810WHB.com.
Do you take a lot of medicine or take care of someone that does? Hero is the new smart device that makes life easier by pre-sorting a 90-day supply of up to 10 different pills. Just pour them in and Hero does the rest.
What I like best about my Hero is that it's so easy to set up and it's so easy to use, and I don't have to worry about my pills or get distracted and forget, did I take that pill or not, because it reminds me.
It alerts and dispenses with the push of a button. Plus, Hero sends a friendly alert to you and a caregiver.
Hero is amazing, but you could even live out of state with the person and still program their Hero from the convenience of your phone.
Missing doses can be dangerous. Save time and take the worry out of caregiving. Hero manages medication for you.
I feel better than I have ever felt simply because I have this device.
Try Hero risk-free for 30 days. If you don't love it, you don't keep it. Just go to HeroRadio.com for a very special offer. That's HeroRadio.com. HeroRadio.com. HeroRadio.com.
Hey sports fans, Joni here, and I'm excited to tell you about the newly opened In the Zone Cryo. In the Zone Cryo will help decrease pain and inflammation, accelerate muscle recovery, increase your energy, and boost your immune system. In the Zone Cryo also offers Instasculpt fat reduction, personal training, infrared heat, compression therapy, and more. Mention Sports Radio 810 and receive 10% off your first service. Come see us at College and Metcalf. Call 913-208-4859 or visit inthezonecryo.com. Feel, look, and perform your best with In the Zone Cryo.
Playoff season is here, and you'll score big at Robert Brogdon Buick GMC. Save thousands below MSRP and get 0% for up to 72 months on most new Buick and GMCs. There's a huge selection, including the 2021 GMC Sierra. Plus, they have over 200 used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Rush to Kansas City's highest volume Buick GMC dealer on I-35 in Santa Fe and Olathe, or at robertbrogdon.com. On select models must qualify and finance through GMF for special financing. See dealer for details.
Prime Lending, Kansas City's leading mortgage company, is excited for the postseason and to continue to cheer on our hometown team towards another World Championship run. Prime Lending is ready to assist you with a winning game plan on a mortgage to buy a home or to refinance your current home. Please call or visit any of their 10 KC Metro locations. You can also find them online at yprimelendingkc.com or call 816-600-4561. All loans subject to credit approval. Rates and fees subject to change. Prime Lending, a Plains Capital Company, NMLS 13649, is an equal housing lender.
Hey, Kansas City, how about a new career that is economic and pandemic proof? How about the chance to get paid to learn a trade? Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric has a career for you. Reach out to them today at anthonyphce.com/careers or call 913-268-4669 and see how you can get a paycheck while you learn. Again, 913-268-4669. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Technicians you can trust with your house keys.
Honey, what should we do for dinner tonight?
I don't know. What do you want to do? I want to support somewhere local.
Have you heard?
Heard what?
Red Door Wood-Fired Grill has $5 classic burgers on Monday, and my buddy from work told me on Thursday they have the best jalapeno marinated fried chicken in all of Kansas City.
Get in.
Whether it be a juicy burger or chicken fried to perfection, there's something for everyone at Kansas City's favorite little upscale neighborhood joint, Red Door Wood-Fired Grill. What are you waiting for, KC? Get in here.
Chiefs versus Bills, Sunday at 5:40 on Sports Radio 810 WHB. You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
It's always better with slime.
It's just always better with slime.
Always better. If there's one thing I've said over and over again, if there's one thing I'm known for
what
on
is
this
it?
show,
What's the thing?
It's always better with slime.
It's never not better with slime.
With Joshua Brisco.
The slimier, the better. That's what I always say.
That's what Rudy always says.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
That's just a challenging liner.
That's just a good liner.
I mean, it's a pretty good liner. Oh, hey, Julian Edelman over the middle of the field. Yeah, ooh, great.
Thanks, a real good liner.
It's a very good liner.
Just a nice, good old slimy liner.
Woj is tweeting about how Porter Jr. was traded. He's had some difficulties in his time with the Cavs. I mean the Nuggets. Kevin Porter Jr. was traded.
I'd be fine if the Nuggets went and got Kevin Porter Jr. And then also Otto Porter Jr. Let's just get all the Porter Jr.'s. I'll take all the Porter.
Is Otto
juniors.
Porter still in the league? There's no. Do you think he is?
He was. I
thought he flamed out.
I mean, he definitely flamed out a little bit, but I don't think out of the league. Like he was like a 4th overall pick, I think. And he certainly is.
That was a minute ago.
He's got to be in the league still.
Oh, he's been with the Bulls the last few years.
That feels right.
Started 9 games last year. Yeah, I'm the bleep hole here.
I mean, I didn't say you weren't wrong.
Last 3 years.
He's absolute because I think he was a 4th overall pick.
I think that's right.
He was high. He was a high pick. Third by the Wizards.
Yes.
Yeah, and he is absolutely not.
Because he was a Georgetown guy. He was relatively local.
Grew up in Missouri.
That draft. You want to hear about that draft real quick?
He was another one of the guys who, because there was like a 2 or 3 year stretch where like Mizzou missed out on Jason Tatum, Bradley Beal, and Michael Porter Jr. They got Michael Porter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., all Missouri kids who went elsewhere.
I'm going to read this list until I get to it. There are a couple of guys in here who are like good players and everything, but I'm going to read this list until I get to a certain point. This is picks 1 through, I don't know, an arbitrary number in the first round of the 2013 NBA draft. Weird place that we've arrived, but we're here.
That's what we do.
Anthony Bennett.
Great.
Victor Oladipo.
Stud.
Otto Porter.
Oh, this is this draft.
Cody Zeller. Alex Len. Nerlens Noel. Ben McLemore. Contavious Caldwell-Pope. Trey Burke. CJ McCollum. Michael Carter-Williams. Steven Adams. Kelly Olynyk. Shabazz Muhammad. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That draft is wild, man. I remember that draft being the draft where there was just like no definitive, like basically there were like those top 7 guys, like all 7 of them like were basically like the number 1 overall pick in somebody's mock draft at some point.
Also, it's crazy to think about this, but Victor Oladipo is on his 4th team now.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando for a few years, 1 year with Oklahoma City, then the Pacers for 3 and change. Now he's in Houston. How did we get here?
Nerlens Noel and Ben McLemore. Ben McLemore I think is also with Houston.
I'm curious if CJ McCollum is still with Portland.
Yeah.
He might be the only dude from that list that's on the team that drafted him still.
I mean, Giannis.
Until Giannis.
Yeah.
Until
Giannis. Yeah, so 1 through 14, I would bet he is. Because Nerlens not with the 76ers anymore, obviously. He's in Dallas, maybe?
That feels right.
I feel like he's in one of the Texas or Oklahoma
How did we
team.
get to this point in the show? What a weird...
That's what we do sometimes.
I couldn't remember where Michael Carter-Williams was.
Drafted by Philadelphia?
He's drafted by Philly, but he's bounced all over the
he's
place.
Played for like Orlando.
He's in Orlando the last few years, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Our resident Magic fan, Tucker D. Franklin, will join us beginning of next segment at the top of the hour. Boy, what a crazy draft. We end up in just drafts so often. I don't know why. That ends up just being a checkpoint for us.
Because drafts are fun, man.
They're way less fun after the fact, though.
No, they're always fun.
They're always fun, but after the fact, you realize that you've got like a handful of basically role players, and then Giannis going at 15, and no one knows anything. It's just, and there's Gronk converting 3rd and 10. If this pass, it's Eric Berry and Dan Sorensen. Oh boy,
that final drive the Patriots had, just all the 3rd down conversions.
The AFC Championship game is on NFL Network if you're just joining us, and that was 3rd and 10 right there. Eric Berry could not pick up that pass.
3 straight 3rd and 10.
Yeah, if they just get the stop just right there, they kick a field goal, and then Patrick Mahomes gets the ball back and almost certainly wins it.
Yeah, no, he wins it. There's no, and if the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, they steamroll the Rams. There's just no doubt in my mind about it.
We just watched Rex Burkhead run for 12 yards. The good thing is that this game is almost over, which means that I don't have to watch it for the next hour of the show. I thought I was over this. I thought this game couldn't hurt me anymore. I was wrong. Power rankings and more with Tucker next.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hey everyone, Les Norman here, host of the Breaking the Norm show. Since '95, I've made KC my home, and since then, I've seen a World Series champion in 15, a Super Bowl champion in 20, and the greatest fans supporting both. It's the people that make me proud to call KC home. You're passionate about your teams and each other. During this crazy time, keep caring for and loving each other. And thank you for making KC not only the greatest sports city, but also the most caring and helpful place to watch sports. Stay healthy, be safe, don't panic, and keep loving each other well.
There's only one station in Kansas City big enough to bring you all the Chiefs coverage you need. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
The Chiefs are heading to the AFC Championship game.
As the Chiefs get set to take on the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game. Keep it on Sports Radio 810 for all the latest.
The quarterback, Trent Green.
Super DJ Derek Johnson joins us.
Adam Schefter from ESPN.
If it's Chiefs, it's right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hey KC, Jeff Badine from Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City. Thanks to you, our loyal customers, 2020 was the best year in our history. We're celebrating with our certified pre-owned event month. Get 1.99% financing and we'll even make your first 2 payments. Rosa & Rosa, premium vehicles to choose from. You can afford your dream car at Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City. Visit us online today at mbfkc.com. Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, 1/2 mile east of State Line Road on Highway 150. Minutes from everywhere. Financing with approved credit, 36 months, MBFS, ends 1/31/20. 2 payments up to $1,500, select CPO must.
At Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, the executive loaner fleet is a cut above the norm, featuring an assortment of 2020 Mercedes-Benz models. Now, combine that with 1.99% financing on most of the executive loaner cars, and you have a golden opportunity to make your next vehicle a Mercedes-Benz. Need more incentives? They need your trade-in. So go see your next car at Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, 1/2 mile east of State Line on Highway 150, or online at mbofkc.com. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
You've probably heard Tom Shane on the radio for years, but have you actually experienced a visit to Shane Company? If you're planning to pop the question on Valentine's Day, we're the destination for you. You just gotta go to the store, or you can go online to create an engagement ring that fits your budget and reflects her personal style. We're talking a massive selection of always natural, always ethically sourced diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, plus a huge assortment of ring settings in every price range. Our team of jewelry consultants will help you find exactly what you're looking for. And you can expect zero pressure because they're all non-commissioned. When you're done collaborating, her engagement ring will look spectacular, like nobody else's ring. She'll get all the compliments, you'll get all the credit. And get this, with their warranty, if anything happens to the ring, they've got you covered for life, for free. Do yourself a favor and get your engagement ring your way, only at Shane Company.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company and shaneco.com.
You're listening to the most powerful sports station in the country. Sports Radio 810, WHB Kansas City, the power of sports. WHB Kansas City.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Jim Basketball. NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers remain unbeaten on the road now. 8-0. LeBron, 34 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 113-106 at Milwaukee in defeat. Giannis had 25. That's the best road start in franchise history for the defending champs. Former Laker Brandon Ingram has 16. Pelicans leading the Jazz in the second, 51-42, while the Knicks are up 6 at Golden State at 48-42. Woj reporting the Cavs trading Kevin Porter Jr. to the Rockets for a future second-round pick. Meantime, in college basketball, Indiana's outscored Iowa in the second half, 36-21. They're up 10 at the 2-minute mark on the nation's fourth-ranked team at 67-57. Jennifer King will become the first black woman to become a full-time coach in the NFL. The Washington football team will promote her to a full-time offensive assistant. There have been 6 head coaching vacancies filled. 1 more remains. That's with the Houston Texans after the Eagles hired Nick Sirianni as their head coach. He's the former offensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts. Championship Sunday kicks off with Brady and the Bucks, Rodgers and the Packers. Kickoff comes Sunday at 3:05 Eastern. Favorite for league MVP taking advantage of this chance because you never know.
I hope there's more opportunities, but I don't know. I mean, I really don't. And that stuff is out of my control. I mean, my future is a beautiful mystery, I think. Present is such a gift to just be able to stay in the moment.
Stay in the moment and maybe win a title and MVP in the same year. Patrick Mahomes on the field taking all the reps for the Chiefs in practice.
We're back on Friday, previewing the championship games on Sunday, and I will tell you the most important matchup in both games. You're going to be really surprised. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin will bring it to you Friday, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
Think outside the box. That's my tip. And don't take yourself too seriously. Two very serious.
That was a pretty serious answer.
With Joshua Brisco.
Do as he
well,
says,
I mean, he
not
wasn't
as he
the
does.
smart in Turchin.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Last hour of the night here on Almost Entirely Sports. Again, I can give you the weather and the traffic. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why this has become my thing tonight. I just don't know how else I'm starting these shows. I don't know. What I will tell you, though, is that the studio here is a little less empty. Tucker D. Franklin. The D just sort of became a part of your byline because you needed it for your Twitter handle to make sense. But it's here anyway. Tucker D. Franklin. You can follow him on Twitter. Just like that, at Tucker D. Franklin, is back in studio with us. We've had Tucker on a million times, even just over the course of the pandemic, but over the phone. Tonight, Tucker made the drive in studio with us for the hour. We'll do some power rankings. We will also talk about a whole bunch of Chiefs-Bills things. We're going to play this Dan Campbell sound because it's magical. And you might think, well, wait a second. What are Tucker's qualifications other than being the emperor of power rankings? You can see a bunch of his work in a joint project of ours, Arrowhead Report, up on Sports Illustrated, arrowheadreport.com. Also, the host of the rebooted Roughing the Kicker Kansas City Chiefs podcast. New episodes every weekday.
Some are saying better than ever.
Yeah, the best version of Roughing the Kicker that's ever existed. Certainly the most talented, handsome, accomplished host that's ever hosted that podcast. Yeah, I think that's all true. I think you've probably begun redeeming the iTunes reviews for Roughing the Kicker. I'll have to double check that.
Well, they were kind of rough. You left it in a pretty rough spot, I will say that.
I wanted you to have a challenge.
Well, challenge accepted, I guess. Golly, I remember the first time I checked it, I was like, oh no, Josh quit doing this after Tyreek Hill, huh?
Yeah. Was that around it? Oh, wow.
We are, though, and this is understandable. Hey, this is Tucker's first time ever in chair number 2.
That is true.
Right, with the Facebook. So, Tucker,
maybe.
see, what we do is, and I don't expect you to know this, no problem. Take the mic and go a little bit to the right.
Yeah.
Because you can see the camera.
Yeah, get that angle.
That way it doesn't, like, go across the face.
You can check over your shoulder real quick on the monitor if you want.
Yeah.
It's looking
now
great
it's perfect.
right there.
Oh, good, thanks.
Now it's perfect.
You can see Tucker's hoodie that apparently he made.
I did.
I like it. If you want to see him and you want to see me, you want to see Rudy, you want to just see our handsome faces, you can do so on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube channels. Whatever's easiest for you. We'll see your comments no matter where you leave them. But
we just won't know your name if you're on Facebook. I will because I have both pages, so I can find your name.
I won't, and that's okay.
I'll pass it on.
We'll
figure it out.
Anonymity just from me. So if my mom leaves like a mean comment, it'll just say from empty username, and that's okay.
I'll make sure that you know the mean things your mom has to say about you. Don't you worry about that.
Tucker, I just wanted to ask about this because I was distressed to see this morning. What's the status of your car right now? Did the FedEx guy? Tell me how your morning started, would you please?
Okay, so my morning started. I usually do a radio hit with KMA in Iowa, and at 9 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and was actually woken up by the call. Fun fact, I was not prepared for it.
That's good. I've got some stories. I've got some stories of people that I know have been in sort of varying forms of being when they've been on this show before, and so I'm proud of you.
Yeah, so I received the call and I was still asleep, and I woke up and I said, all right, let me grab my headphones real quick, aka let me get myself together. Yeah. So I did that, got myself together, and then while I was in the middle of this call, I've got my AirPods in, slight flex.
Yeah.
Had the noise cancellation on.
Yeah.
Optimal.
I like the transparent mode whenever I'm doing a little phone interview. I like hearing my headset and the monitors a little bit. Old habits.
This would have come in handy if I was in transparent mode. My dad opens the door, and he's like wearing a mask. I was like, okay, something's up.
Something has gone poorly
my
here.
dad is wearing a mask in our house.
And your dad's a big anti-masker. Your dad's
No,
like,
that's
this
not
is all
true.
made up.
That is
Don't
not
get the
true.
vaccine.
That's not true.
Your dad's really gone off the deep end.
Okay, I live at home with my parents. If that's not clear now.
Yeah, and you also don't. Yeah, that's an important detail.
Yes.
Your dad just busts into your apartment.
No, it was my room in my parents' house.
Yeah.
And he
They're
tries
your
to
roommates.
talk
It's
to-
fine.
Yeah, they're
you
your
got
roommates.
We all
Right.
got roommates.
Yeah, that's a good
It's a
point.
normal thing in your life.
Tough times. Times
Yeah,
are tough.
yeah.
Had to take in some roommates.
Unprecedented times.
Yeah, tough times. The job life not going great. Bad work-life balance.
That's
So I
true.
understand. Hey, got a bad boss?
Boss sucks.
Yeah. Woo.
Boss is a bleep hole for sure. It's because technically I'm Tucker's
Josh is
boss
boss.
for the
Yeah.
SI. I just want to make sure. I need
Josh
to explain
sucks.
that
Yeah.
because I'm terrible.
Because he's bad.
I'm a bad boss to Tucker.
Bad boss.
Yeah.
You know that movie Horrible Bosses?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Jason Bateman, I think.
I thought it was called.
No, it's Horrible Bosses.
It's called Horrible Bosses.
Yeah, it's Horrible Bosses. Tucker's gonna hire Jamie Foxx to kill you. Is the point?
I watched that movie the other day.
Not seen. Say that again.
I watched that movie the other day.
Really?
I need to talk into this for it to pick me
Yeah,
up.
a little bit.
Yeah, so this is the microphone.
Okay.
This thing here. It's not just there for decoration.
Okay,
it
sounds
actually,
good. Yeah.
it actually works.
Okay, cool. Back to my story. So my dad walks in. He's trying to talk to me with the mask
He's
on.
like,
I've got
"These-"
noise cancellation on. So I'm like, I can't hear you, and I'm
Yeah.
trying not to talk because obviously
You're on the radio.
I'm on the radio, and the
Yeah.
other guy's talking, so I don't want to say, "Hey, Dad, I can't hear you," in the middle of my interview. So
Right.
time passes. I just kind of ignore him. He leaves my room. So after I get done with my interview, I'm like, okay, what could have possibly been so important that my dad came in my room this morning for him with a mask on?
Yeah.
And I said, "What's up?" And he said, "The FedEx driver hit your car." And I said, "What?" Because here's the thing. My car wasn't parked on the side of the road.
Where was your car parked?
It was in our driveway.
Oh no! I didn't know that.
The FedEx driver tried to back into our driveway.
Was he delivering a vanity?
I don't know what he delivered, but it was a good-sized box.
Was he delivering the van?
Was he delivering a van?
Well, he might have been, because apparently he has a backup camera, but that apparently didn't get used either.
Sure.
But it left a nice big old dent in my car that FedEx is hopefully going to fix for me. I did get FedEx to reply to me on Twitter saying, "Hey, we'll help you out."
That's
so
good.
That's good. All you
That's
have to
good.
do is-
You're like, yo, share this podcast. Rate, review, and subscribe.
Here's the
we
problem.
need some 5-star reviews.
Here's the problem, Tucker. You made a mistake by coming in today. Because here's the thing. There's video feed of you, obviously, right now, Tucker.
That's true.
Tucker.
He Ubered in. He got an
Tucker.
Uber. He got an Uber,
No,
and
no,
his leg is in
no.
a cast. You can't see it.
Okay, you see, because that's my thing. You should have a neck brace on.
Yeah.
You should be looking as rough as possible. FedEx, Arthur Smith, where are you? Hey, Arthur. Hey,
Oh
hey,
yeah, you
Arthur?
should get a share of
Arthur?
the Falcons right
Hey,
now.
That's true. I will say though, somebody quote tweeted my tweet and said, "I would have laid down right beside your car." And
Yes,
I was like,
yes.
"Oh man, missed opportunity to cash in."
You could have
Yeah.
retired and finally stopped having a bad boss. You could have came in tonight, just really told your boss how you felt, and then just left.
Yeah.
All things we could have done.
Let me tell you. Let me give you this good note. Yeah. Oh wow. The FedEx help tweet even says, "I'm gonna like their tweet so they know that I appreciate their." Evelyn, I appreciate Evelyn reaching out. Good morning, Tucker. My name is Evelyn, and I am so sorry to hear about your car getting hit. Please DM me any truck information, your full address, phone number, and email address so I can help. Thank you. Did you DM them, or do you have faith that they're going to get figured out?
No, well, I'm keeping that one in my back pocket. You know, it's like a wild card.
I think I would shoot him a DM and be like, hey, I think it's gonna get handled, but I'm gonna respond to you, within 24 hours, so you know that I know that you know that I know. Evelyn.
If that's your real name.
If that's your real name.
Well, Jake from FedEx said he was going to get back with me.
No, it's Jake from State Farm.
Well, that's what I thought too, but apparently he had to take on a second job because times are tough.
Let me give you a little hope here. Let me give you a good car got hit story.
Would love it.
I've only had cars that have been, on the end of their life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And my previous car, the one that I have now, my first car was a 1998 Plymouth Neon. That thing, I love that car more in retrospect than I did at the time because it was, in most cases, a nightmare. But I'd had it for a while, and it was parked in the street outside my parents' house. And our neighbor across the street had like a big like pickup truck or something, and he backed into it, left a little dent in kind of the back quarter panel, missed the door and everything, not just cosmetic, but put a little dent in there. And then he said, listen, this is a company car. It's on my company's car insurance and stuff. We'll get this figured out, whatever. They had an inspector come out. They went, yeah, you know, this car is old and bad, and to get that fixed would probably be about as much as the car's worth. So here's a check for it was like $2,000 or something, which I could not, it was what I paid for the car. I put more money into it, but it was something like that. And it was like, this is okay. So yeah, I mean, I think it would have a salvage title. Now it's like, I'm going to sell it for, I ended up signing that car for $100 at the end of its career.
Wow.
There was not a lot of life left in that poor car. But it ended up being great because they just went like, yeah, it's total. I mean, you could totally legally drive it and everything, but we're just going to give you the check for the value of the car, and we're all going to move on with our lives. So that's great. So I drove that car with a dent in it for another year and a half or something, and then I had like a grand or two in my pocket that I didn't expect to have. So I'm hoping for you that because you know what? I was going to say, I want you to tell me what state the car's in. Go. Hey, Tucker, what state's the car in right now?
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh.
Not good.
We've been trying to play this. I've been meaning to play this Dan Campbell audio for a very long time today. We've not gotten to it yet. And we have 4 power rankings categories, and one of them will be even more confusing if you don't have the context of the Dan Campbell audio. Rudy, I want the full minute one here. He was the assistant to the head coach in New Orleans. This is head coach Dwight Schrute right now. That is not a joke. He was tight ends coach and assistant to the head coach in New Orleans.
Do you think he was going around telling people assistant to the head coach?
100%. 100%. You think that guy's goatee? That is a goatee that forgets to say the phrase "to the" in the middle of that. But it's Dan Campbell. He is the new head coach of the Detroit Lions. He had his introductory press conference today, and this minute, you can leave all of our mics on, Rudy. We'll just Tucker, don't curse. Listen to the man now in charge of the Detroit Lions. This has some cliches kind of in the front end, and then it really, really gets going.
This place has been kicked, it's been battered, it's been bruised, and I can sit up here and give you coach speak all day long. I can give you, hey, we're going to win this many games. I can't, but none of that matters, and you guys don't want to hear it anyway. You've had enough of that, so excuse my language. Whew. All right, here's what I do know, is that this team is going to take on the identity of this city, all right? And the city's been down, and it found a way to get up, all right? It's found a way to overcome adversity, all right? And so this team's going to be built on.
Here we go.
We're going to kick you in the teeth, all right? And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off, all right? And we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right, and on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap, and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right, that's going to be the mentality.
For long.
Quiet.
Here's the hunk.
Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Shh, 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 shh. I need perfect silence. Dan Campbell. More like Dan Cannibal.
What do you think what is in his Campbell's chunky soup?
Probably kneecaps. Probably chunks of human flesh.
Mine was better.
Probably human remains. Did the Detroit Lions just hire Hannibal Lecter over Eric Bieniemy? Listen, you can say whatever. Maybe Eric Bieniemy has had some tough interviews, but do you think he ever tried to, eat a finger of the owner mid-interview? Because it seems like Dan Campbell might be, at least interested in that.
You know what? Here's the thing. If he tried, you know what that means? Man's not afraid. You don't want a coach who's afraid to eat the finger of anybody. You want a coach who will literally eat the finger of anybody. That's a coach you'll run through a wall for.
Do you think he dreams about being able to have coached Ronnie Lott? And whenever he was
because Ronnie Lott didn't have enough fingers for him to bite off.
But can you imagine how Can you imagine what Dan Campbell would have done in that moment where he's like, listen, just cut it off. He's like, no, don't let it go to waste. I mean, I'll do it. Yeah, come here. What? You're going to cut off my finger? No, I'm going to bite off the tip of your pinky. Well, I'm sorry. You're going to bite it? Yeah. It's fine. Come here. Are you drooling, Dan? No! Let me just help you. Let me just help you amputate the... Listen, you can cut it off. Just when you're done, do you need it for anything? Because I'm making a stew tonight whenever I get home, and I would just love a little extra flavor. If I could just get just a little nibble. The we're gonna take on the identity of our city thing is so overplayed at this point. The only thing that Dan Campbell apparently knows about Detroit is they had a real tough time during the recession. Like, what are we talking? Like, cars, haha. Like, I don't know that makes any real sense. Can you just play the shorter version there, Rudy? It's like the last 20 seconds. Let's just one more time. If we could bite off a chunk of that.
So this team's going to be built on. We're going to kick you in the teeth. All right.
Fine, I guess.
And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. Weird. And when you knock us down,
we're crazy.
We're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
What? That's
all right?
not.
And we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down.
That's okay. Fine.
Right?
Again.
And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap. And we're going to get up. And then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right. That's going to be the mentality.
It's crazy. Bite off a kneecap is not. No one's ever said that. You know why? Go ahead, everybody, right now.
You know why?
Why?
Because they're all losers.
Everyone, right now, open your mouth as big as you can. My jaw pops and stuff. If my jaw gets stuck, you guys are gonna have to finish this show. Okay? Now, kind of with your fingers, kind of get a measurement of how big approximately your teeth can get. Okay, now put that on your kneecap. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
I can take a chunk out.
You not of your kneecap. You couldn't. No.
Yeah, I got this.
That's bone.
I got this.
It's bone.
I got this.
You're gonna skin your knee with your teeth, basically.
Take a chunk out.
Like, I mean, this dude is just. It's Dan Campbell who watches 2 things: game film and The Walking Dead. It's so strange.
We need a coach, though, like this in the NFL. The NFL always needs at least one coach like this, and honestly, a place like Detroit is the perfect place for him to be.
They gave him a 6-year deal!
It's too good.
They interviewed him and thought, yeah, let's do that for 6 years.
I wish I could have seen that interview.
I mean...
Passion, baby.
Do you think they interviewed him and Bieniemy at the same time? He was like, "I'll bite his bleeping kneecaps off."
You're forgetting he is a Detroit Lion legend, and he played 3 seasons there. In 1 year, he had 20 catches. Legend.
The phrase that really gets me is "hunk out of you."
It was hunk, not chunk.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure.
I think it might have been hunk. I think you're right. I think
he
take another hunk out of you.
Chunk for the first parts, but then the last time he says hunk.
Where does that come from?
I mean, is that, you can be a hunk, and right. I am. Let's see. A hunk can be a large piece of something, especially food, cut or broken off of a larger piece.
Like a kneecap.
It does say something. It says of something, especially food, which I would say a kneecap isn't necessarily. Human flesh isn't necessarily.
It's food for something.
So the 2 definitions of the word hunk are a large piece of something, especially food, cut or broken off a larger piece.
Dan Campbell.
And then, I would argue this one also really describes Dan Campbell to a T. A large, strong, sexually attractive man.
Absolutely.
I think that's it.
Take a hunk out of a hunk. Careful, Dan Campbell, watch your kneecaps. Is he the only active head coach with a goatee? I haven't thought about this, but because whenever Travis Kelce broke out the goatee this year, that was he made a choice, and he's been pretty much riding with it. And good for him. But can you? I mean, I don't really want to just Google list of NFL head coaches or just a bunch of logos. I need something to kind of set my.
Yeah, I feel like I can almost picture somebody with a goatee, but I'm having a hard time figuring out who.
Okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to come back and we're going to do power rankings. This is the new plan. There's a power ranking related to Dan Campbell's weird. I'm afraid of calling it the wrong thing.
Does Matt Rule have one?
Yes.
Oh, is Matt
Rule might.
I think sometimes Matt Rule has like that lazy goatee where you don't shave.
I think it's kind of stubbly though. I
think it's a little bit more than stubble, but it's not quite goatee.
The goatee is a bold choice, though. I will say that.
No, he's got honestly. Well, that's from Baylor. Is this good radio? He's wearing a mask in a lot of these pictures with the Panthers, which makes things tough. I'm seeing beard. I'm seeing stubble. I'm seeing, maybe a beard that kind of tapers on the edges a little bit.
No.
But I would not call this
definitely not a goatee.
Not a goatee. Certainly not a Dan Campbell goatee. Cliff Kingsbury, probably not. You know what?
Dan came into my head. Actually.
Dan Quinn, I think, had one. Does the NFL have a 1-in, 1-out goatee policy? So I think Dan Quinn was a goatee guy.
Another coaching policy like that. 1-in, 1-out.
There should be a Rooney Rule for coaches with goatees.
Special
I'll say
teams
it.
Coordinators. That's why Tobes never got the job. Harbaugh
has to be vanquished first. I need Chaotic Warrior on Twitch just says I can imagine that interview being intense. And yeah, dude, it has to be. Because he's got a little something in the corner of his mouth. You can't quite tell what it is, but it's darker and redder than you'd like for. It's an entire finger hanging out. Yeah, because your head coach is Hannibal Lecter. I'm just scrolling. This is not good radio at this point. I'm just sort of scrolling through team logos, trying to picture their head coaches. Vrabel's probably like, I bet whenever Vrabel shaves, he shaves it into a goatee and goes like, maybe next time, and then just finishes shaving and moves on.
Is he clean shaved?
I think he's a kind of 5 o'clock shadow guy. What about Bruce Arians? Is he full beard at this point?
No, I think he is goatee.
I think he might be a goatee guy.
I feel like if he's not right now, I feel like he has been in his life. I think he is now.
He has been,
Definitely. Yeah. My computer's not really kind of working sort of internet-wise at this point anymore. So
me neither. So
probably a coincidence.
Yeah. I hope we're still on Facebook. Yeah, we should be because that's a direct connection.
That's fine.
Usually our direct connection here is good. The Wi-Fi, not so much.
I gotta turn off my Wi-Fi. Nope, site can't be. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, big, strong white goatee for Bruce Arians. All right, so there's no more than 2 active head coaches with goatees at a time. Then, that's got to be the rule.
Imagine Andy Reid with a goatee.
He tried to do a little bit of a beard thing in Philly once. It is a challenging image. Cause it just looks wrong. Because that dude has a look. Although I will say,
he does.
One thing that Andy Reid did figure out later in his sort of coaching career, basically sort of buzz cut Andy Reid with the mustache is a stronger look than sort of the kind of puffy, receding kind of hairline. He's in that sweet spot right now. He's got it figured out. And also, he just won a Super Bowl, so like,
do whatever he wants.
He could have mutton chops and be like, "That's genius. That looks so good."
That would be awesome.
That would be great. Let's do this. Let's take a break. Let's come back. Let's do power rankings. Whatever time we have left over at the end, we'll talk more about Dan Campbell, and we'll see if Tucker can give us a little Chiefs Bills prediction. You feeling like you got a prediction in you?
I can come up with one.
You think you can say 2 numbers in an order where the first one is bigger and the second one is smaller?
After today?
Probably. Listen, that FedEx, you got your bell rung by that FedEx driver who hit you is what we're saying now. And really, I mean, there's a class action lawsuit coming in because now I've been damaged by the damage they did to you. They ruined the show because you're here and you shouldn't have even gotten here at all.
Right.
Tucker right now is a limited participant in a limited radio show. He's a full participant in a limited radio show.
In a limited radio show.
That's right. So he's a limited participant in radio today. Let's take a break. Whenever we come back, power rankings with Tucker. We've got a couple of doozies. You'll have to wait to the other side of the break before you find out what I mean.
At JB Briscoe, at Beards McFly, at Not That Rudy, at Sports Radio 810. Just do it already.
Menards is your complete plumbing headquarters. Save on over 300 kitchen and bath faucets from Moen in the store and on Menards.com. Moen faucets give you a lifetime of beauty, reliability, and innovative features. Moen products are built to last. Save big on all the latest styles and finishes of Moen faucets. Now at Menards. Savings are good until January 31st.
Save big money at Menards.
Schlotzsky's has just what you need to start the new year out right. All of their sandwiches and pizzas are made with their baked fresh from scratch sourdough bread. At Schlotzsky's, they offer curbside, drive-through, socially distanced dine-in, catering, and delivery. And remember, the Schlotzsky's $24.99 lunch and dinner special for a family of 4. Any 4 medium sandwiches or pizzas with 4 chips and 4 cookies for just $24.99. Available at all 5 area Schlotzsky's. Funny name, serious sandwich. That's Schlotzsky's.
If we learned anything in 2020, it's that life is unpredictable. There are some things that you just can't control. All the more reason why you need to appreciate and hold tight those special people in your life. That relationship you know you can count on no matter what. At Diamonds Direct, your love is our passion. Your relationship is why we exist, and we stand ready to help you create those memorable moments in 2021 that celebrate and solidify those unbreakable bonds. Our selection of precious rare diamonds has never been greater. From a simple 1-carat princess cut to a breathtaking 10-carat round brilliant. We have your perfect diamond in stock every day at the guaranteed best value price in America. And even in unpredictable times, Diamonds Direct's commitment to you will never waver. We promise the largest selection, the highest quality, the best value, the strongest warranties, and the most unforgettable experience. So as life gets back to normal this new year, remember, cling to the ones you adore by showing them how much they mean to you. And we'll always be here to help. Diamonds Direct.
At 119th and Row.
Hey, Kansas City, Stephen St. John here, and I am stoked that KC was able to complete a whole season of football. Now, it's the postseason. When we look back at 2020, let's remember we had KC football, and it was awesome to be a KC fan. Another great reason to be in KC is because of my favorite dealership, Roberts Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC. They want everyone to be prepared for the ice and snow with vehicles like this 2020 Chevy Trax LT all-wheel drive SUV. This subcompact SUV is perfect for getting around in rough weather. Get extra conquest cash for trade-ins and take off over $6,300. Was $25,265, now only $18,902. Come see why customers say they just make it easy to buy a car at Roberts Robinson. Go online to robertsrobinson.com, check him out on Facebook, or call 816-630-3151 and ask for the personal shopper. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Chiefs versus Bills, Sunday at 5:40 on Sports Radio 810 WHB. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Tucker, what's your number one type of ice?
Vanilla.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Tucker Franklin in studio with us to close out the show tonight. You can follow him on Twitter at Tucker D. Franklin. Check out everything he's doing on Arrowhead Report on Sports Illustrated. He's the deputy editor there. His boss stinks, but that's not his fault. And you can hear him daily hosting the Roughing the Kicker Chiefs podcast, which has had a whole cast of characters on it as of late. Has included Seth Kaiser, Nate Taylor.
Never heard of him.
Some people I've never heard of. Sam Mellinger, who's never even been on this show. Big get. Big get, kittens. That was a little bit ago, but that actually, I remember that conversation, still pretty relevant at this point. Is his microphone on, or is he a little quiet mouse right now?
His microphone probably wasn't on.
That's probably right.
I'll say it again. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him kind of go, like his mouth open, but no sound came. Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like his mic's probably not on. That's okay. What's on Roughing the Kicker tomorrow?
Ooh, tomorrow it's just Jordan and I, Jordan Foote and I.
Jordan was on this show a week or so ago. Jordan's great.
Yeah, so we actually have a conversation about, obviously, our daily now Patrick Mahomes injury update.
Yep.
Because you have to give a daily Patrick Mahomes injury update. I kind of took a bit after you where I play breaking news after I say Patrick Mahomes injury update. So
it's fine. Listen, the highest form of flattery is
exactly
robbing my bleep at gunpoint and not crediting me in any way. And that's fine. I'm flattered.
Yeah, people know what they get when they come to the podcast. And it was kind of a little disjointed podcast, actually, on today's show when you're listening to this. What day's today? Thursday?
Yeah, who cares? It's Thursday. Welcome back into the show. It's 10:30 on a Thursday. It's
Friday somewhere.
41 degrees. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday somewhere. Boom, 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 boom. Rudy Salazar with the traffic report. Go ahead, to Rudy in the helicopter.
There's cars.
What's that? It looks like there's a police chase. What's that? Is that a FedEx truck being chased by a squad of police cars?
I see a little chief boy in that FedEx truck.
Wait a second. Tucker's at two places at once. Incredible. It's disjointed tomorrow on the Friday episode.
So yeah, we actually are gonna have a bonus episode out on Saturday.
Got to.
Yeah.
Got to. 6 episodes this week. Got to.
Yep. Nick Fierro of Bill Central on SI is gonna be on Saturday's edition. So Jordan and I on Friday, which is tomorrow's episode, we play a little game called Quarterback Roulette, where we place chips on different quarterbacks in the AFC who we think is going to win a Super Bowl that aren't named Patrick Mahomes. We play that game, and then I also rant about how Brett Veach wasn't named Executive of the Year by the Pro Football Writers Association of America. But if you follow me on Twitter, you already know I was kind of upset about that.
Yeah, there was that became a little blip on the Chiefs Twitter radar today.
Here's the thing, guys. Like
put your camera on yourself, Rudy.
I understand us wanting, Chiefs people in general to win awards.
Yeah,
the world's tired of us.
That's true.
They're exhausted.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, all of them. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. Like we're not tired of Travis Kelce yet, which is why he'll win Offensive Player of the Year, and then next year he'll be the
Derrick
most.
Henry
he'll be
won
the most.
The Pro Football Writers version of that.
That's a bad sign.
I
point.
know.
Okay, God. Of course, it's gonna
know
be
it ruined my whole day. I just remembered it.
Anyways, people like him now. Next year, he'll be the most overrated tight end in NFL history. That
even happened with Kittle. Kittle became the best tight end in football because people get tired of stuff.
Yeah, because that's just how it goes, and we just gotta deal with it. People are already tired of us.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fine. You know why? Super Bowls, baby.
Mountaintop.
We got Super Bowls, and we got Garth Brooks banners. What more could you want?
An NBA franchise. Personally,
I don't know if I really want that.
What were you gonna say, Tucker?
I mean, it only took 2 years for that to happen?
It happened fast.
It happened so fast.
So fast.
Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes both so quickly.
Everybody hates him now. Everybody doesn't want to talk about how Brett Veach brought back 20 of 22 starters before the COVID opt-outs, obviously.
Right.
He can't control that. And then, he
should have made Laurent Duvernay-Tardif quit being a doctor.
Right.
That's Bean would have done that.
He would have, probably.
Yeah,
That's why
sure
he's the
would've.
executive of the year.
Dan Campbell will let LVT go save lives? God, no.
You know how much Dan Campbell would love to have a doctor on his roster? He knows exactly how to break down a body. I mean, make dinner. Oh God.
Did you see that his nameplate for his office said "the dude" on it?
I still don't know if that's real or not. I still don't know if it's real.
I want to believe it's so bad.
I do too. The Lions tweeted it out. I just don't know if it's real or not.
I think it is. It feels like it is, but I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past Dan Campbell to do something like that, though.
Here's the
like
thing.
the fact that
it's not a terrible move. I kind of like.
awesome.
I kind of like.
It's
it.
really
I
cool.
like the fact that you know that in those negotiations for the new contract, he wanted it. And he told his agent, "Hey, make sure that outside my office it says Matt Campbell, the dude." Because you heard the thing about him going like he told his agent, "Hey, tell them that they're interviewing Matt Campbell, the Iowa State head coach, and I'll have a better." He's like, "Then maybe I'll have a better shot at getting this job."
He does look like the dude a little bit. His hair, he's got sort of a high and tight version, but if you look at his headshot from when he was with the Lions, it is striking.
Yeah.
It is strikingly Lebowski.
That's a dude.
Have you seen him being compared to PC Principal from South Park?
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
Yes, Danielle, the producer of Times Ours, made me aware of that because I did not know who that was, and then she sent it to me, and it's just him.
I had not seen that yet, but that is a good comp.
Yeah, just put some little Pit Viper sunglasses on him, and golly.
The Lions responded to the picture with head coach / the dude. They responded to it with a picture of the same sign, but instead of saying Dan Campbell, head coach / the dude, it says Detroit Lions Photoshop team, which is also a pretty good flex because they double dipped on that, and it looks great. So apparently it doesn't actually say Dan Campbell, head coach / the dude.
But now you have to make it say that. Like you have to get a new one.
Yeah, I feel lied to.
And now has to say that.
Yeah.
What's this world come to? You just lie about stuff like that?
Listen, you're going to tell me Dan Campbell doesn't really eat body parts. What is this?
I thought 2021 was supposed to be better. It's on our screen in here right now. I mean, he just
man, that goatee is a goatee.
It sure is.
There's no hiding that one.
That dude has a spare tire on his face. It is powerful. It is strong. It'll mop up all the blood after he bites your bleeping kneecap off. Let's do power rankings. This is something we do with Tucker. We'll have a few categories. We'll power rank 5 things from 5 to 1. We'll go around the room. We'll each do it. We do it one at a time. It's a great game. I love this game. We've got probably three categories today. We've spent too much time talking about a cannibalistic head coach in the NFL.
I don't know if you can ever spend enough time on that, to be honest.
Well, let's test it, because our first category today is going to be body parts of an opponent that you'd eat in an NFL game. Rudy, what's your number 5 body part of an opponent you'd eat in an NFL game?
So for me, number 5, it would be the right pointer finger. So It's an important body part for many things: catching a football, guiding the foot. It's very important.
Signaling a first down.
Yes, you need that right pointer finger.
Tucker, number 5.
So I kind of took this from a perspective of what's uncovered when you're playing football, right? Because there's a lot of clothes when you play football.
Sure.
My first few body parts I thought of was like, nope, it's just not possible. Can't get an eye.
Exactly.
Yep.
The helmet, you can't really go for anything on the face or the head because of the helmet.
Yeah.
So I went with calf. Some guys, Marcus Peters, no socks, get the exposed
Yeah.
calves.
Yep.
You could just take a nice little chunk out of that one.
It's a safe, easy option, right? Like it's there.
And it's going to be hard to do much without it.
Right.
Sammy Watkins had like a calf tweak and missed like 4 weeks. Imagine if you miss a calf chunk. My number 5 is literally anything other than a kneecap. I think that might be one of the worst things to start with. You're not going to get a good bite there. That's absolute nonsense. Rudy, number 4.
So kind of playing off the kneecap, the ACL, the back of the knee, that's
the knee
perfectly... It's there. It's exposed. That's easy pickings.
Okay, Tucker, number 4.
It gets hard here. I think this is where this gets tough.
This is easy.
Tough.
I don't know what you're
Tough. Let's say
talking about.
tough.
I went with butt cheek because
I think the players have butt pads.
it's got to not on the cheeks.
I mean, I did in high
That's
school.
a tailbone pad.
You did not play high school football with a butt cheek pad, did you?
No, butt pads.
The tailbone,
tailbone.
like the little thin one.
It wasn't that thin.
All right, Rudy out here with the dump truck, I guess. Jeez.
I mean, you get Mark Ingram lined up against you.
You got a lot of padding in that area. There's the hip pads. There's a lot of padding around that area.
I'm going to kind of do a little snake draft style here. I'm going to go ahead and give you my number 4 and my number 3 simultaneously. Number 4 is I'm having real regrets about this category. Number 3 is butt. It's not made of bone.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of fabric you got to get through.
Rudy, what's your number 3 body part of an opponent you'd eat in an NFL game?
Right thumb. Try to get who can do anything without the right thumb.
Yeah. Tucker, number 3.
I got the bicep.
Just good cut of meat right there.
Yeah.
Just a good answer. Not really a joke to have there. Just, if you're going to be a cannibal, probably pretty good. Might be a little tough.
It would be a tough cut.
Number 2, Rudy.
Number 2, for me, I thought we were going to you. Okay.
I did the snake. You know what? Fine. You know what? I'll go 2. Go ahead. Flip the camera back to me.
Okay.
Number 2, I just have hand. And I know that you've kind of gone individual there, Rudy. But I'm thinking if you basically get any of those things, that's gonna be real tough to get you back in for the game, you know?
If I lost my pinky, I'm fine.
I guess that's true. But I feel like if Mahomes lost it, if the quarterback loses their right pinky.
If Mahomes lost his pinky, yeah, he could still throw a football 65 yards.
That's a great point. If Mahomes could
just start throwing left-handed.
Mahomes could, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's the right take, actually. Anyway, I say hand number 2. Rudy, number 2?
The throat. Go right for the throat.
I'm surprised that's not what Dan Campbell said. We'll take a bite out of your kneecap. We'll step up. We'll
rip
your throat out.
Right for the throat.
Jeez. Tucker, number 2.
I had fingers, plural.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's just common.
Basically little buffalo wings, you know?
Right.
What are fingers if not little buffalo wings?
Carrots.
Little carrots. Gross. Number 1 for me is actually the calf. I think that's exactly. Here's the thing. You get in there, you can do some damage in there, and it's basically big turkey leg. Here's at the Renaissance Fair. That's all. This is maybe our grossest top five power ranking. Rudy, what's your number one?
The Achilles. It's weak. It's right there. It's quick. It's simple. It's easy. Done.
Boom. Game over. Tucker, what's your number one?
Hammy. Get a nice bite out of that hamstring right back there. You're donezo for a long time. Again, ask Sammy Watkins. That dude deals with the hammies.
Would you like to bite Sammy Watkins' hammy?
I never said that.
This concludes our collective group interview to be assistant coaches for the Detroit Lions.
Assistant to the head coach.
Next power ranking here. Let's do Lazy Day apparel. Our top 5 pieces of Lazy Day apparel. Let's start with Rudy this time. Rudy, what's your number 5 piece of Lazy Day apparel?
Well, we did start with me last time, but the order got mixed up, so I ended up I went for my first.
Let's start with Tucker, number 5. You know what? I'll go first.
Okay.
My number 5. Treat yourself. Get some good underwear. Listen, you gotta get your base right. If you might get all the rest of this figured out, but if step 1 is you're gonna put on some straight up boxers or whatever, some made of sackcloth, that's no good. Get yourself some comfy undies. Whether that means to you is up to you. Tucker, what's your number 5 Lazy Day apparel?
Listen, I was right there with you. I think a fresh pair of underwear.
Gotta be fresh.
Because sometimes when you sleep, they get a little messed up, a little bunched up.
Yeah, I'm gonna face the wall for the rest of the segment, I think. Tell everyone more about how your underwear get a little messed up when you sleep, Tucker.
Well, I mean, it's just nature, okay?
No! What?
I'm saying when you move in your sleep, they ride up.
Rudy, number 5.
I also had boxer, but boxer briefs.
Absolutely gotta be boxer briefs.
Yeah,
absolutely gotta be boxer briefs.
Like I know, there's this thing called opinions, right? And everybody like what you like, but no, this is one of those questions. There's only one right answer. It's boxer briefs.
100%.
And a nice pair of boxer briefs, just good. That's how it's the foundation.
If you wear boxers, you're missing out. If you wear briefs, you're a pervert.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better.
Number 4 for me. Did I go first? I think I went first.
You did.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me. Some fuzzy socks. Especially if it's in a chilly sort of situation. You can't let your little piggies get real cold. That's no good. Tucker, number 4.
I went with a robe. I like the overall coverage of a robe.
Oh, I don't have that on my list. You can tell right now, but I'm
I've
wrong.
never owned a robe, so I don't have it on
I've
my
got
list,
a
but
nice
that sounds nice.
fleece robe. I actually did a TV hit in my fleece robe one time.
Oh, that's so good.
Which was pretty good. It was right after the draft. But yeah, a robe is one of my favorite things.
I got a fuzzy robe with a hood on it, some big pockets. It's killer. But it's not on my list. Real oversight by me. Rudy?
So this would be, I guess, would be more of a summer lazy day, but I have these Nike running shorts, and they kind of actually have compression shorts built into them, and they're just the perfect length, and they're super comfy, and it's just you get a nice little airflow in there. They're just very good.
Number 3 for me is a good, roomy beanie. You don't need to be wearing some skull cap that's going to squeeze your brains out through your ears. I thought I had one in my bag. I don't think I do right now. Real oversight by me. I got a specific beanie. It's that sort of that greenish, sort of turquoise one that I've worn a couple of times here. It just sets over my head in a way that it's very comfortable, but it keeps your hair up where you don't have to worry about it. Nice little warm dome. It's great. You do not need to be again something squeezing your brains out. A nice, comfy, maybe a little bit of a stretched out beanie. Tucker, number 3 Lazy Day apparel.
I like, no matter winter or summer, I like wearing a baggy pair of shorts. You know, just to really. Never mind.
I used to be the baggy shorts guy. Now I'm more of the running shorts guy.
I'm gonna bleep you guys up with my number 1. I can already tell. It's gonna be a whole thing.
Yeah, that's be interesting.
Yeah, it really is. Rudy, number 2.
Number 3 for me is cozy socks. Yeah, and this is really 3 through 1 is really what I'm typically gonna wear on a day. So on a lazy day. But I like nice cozy socks. I like my feet to feel nice and snug and warm and toasty.
Yeah, that's good. Number 2 for me is a hoodie, one size up. I've got 2 of these. I got 2 of these bad boys. That for what I literally, one of them I ordered because I got it on eBay. They only had it in a double XL. But it's a hoodie I really liked, and it was a good price. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get that double XL hoodie, and we're going to see. Now, listen, at this point, I could wear it with nothing but a pair of those fresh boxer briefs, and you would have no idea what was going on down there. Like, it's long, the sleeves are long, the hoodie is long, the sleeves are long. It's a little baggier. You like to be a little more room in the pits in the armpits than there needs to be. But it's a great hoodie, and it's a clutch every Lazy Day piece of Lazy Day apparel. The hoodie is Tucker, number 2. Won't wait for the music. There we go.
Yep. Okay. Oh, you really threw me off with that one. I'm going with a nice pair of slippies. I gotta have a good pair of slippers.
Love some good slippies.
Sometimes my feet get a little too hot though if I don't wear socks with them. So I sometimes sock up.
Yeah.
And then put my slippers on because they're like the fur-lined ones. I don't get the fur all messed up. So that's what I go with.
No, that's a good call. A good pair of slippies. I have regret about not including a robe or specifically a pair of slippies. Rudy, number 2.
I'm a big fan of a long sleeve T-shirt with a hoodie. Just like
crush a long sleeve T-shirt with a hoodie.
I love a long sleeve T-shirt.
You're wearing one right now?
I am. I don't own enough long sleeve tees with the hoodies. I need to buy more long sleeve tees with the hoodie. Weirdly enough, long sleeve tees with a hoodie can kind of be hard to find because like a lot of times, sometimes they're a little too thick. Sometimes I don't have the hoodie, and it's just like finding that right perfect one. It can be a little bit challenging.
I don't see you putting the hood up very often though, which is interesting.
Not often. Sometimes
you like
I
to
will,
know it's there though.
But like, it's more. It's kind of an aesthetic. But like sometimes I'll put it on if I'm like laying in bed. Sometimes if my ears get a little cold, maybe, especially during the winter months. But you know, I don't need it up.
By the way, you say it's aesthetic. You know what? This is a little off the board. I'm gonna say. You want to feel like you look good, even if you're just there, if you're home by yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't go wearing some mismatch and stuff unless that's the vibe you're looking for. Here's my number 1. My number 1, athletic pants. Now I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna make sure I don't show Facebook more than I need to at this point. I'm wearing some right now. They're basically yoga pants, which is why I'm using one of our mini stuffed animals to try to, leave some things to your imagination. I'll turn this way. Leave some things to your imagination. You can zoom back out again, Rudy. We're good now. They're basically yoga pants. They're like joggers, whatever. They're made out of stretchy but like breathable material. They're not fleece lined. I don't need that mess in my life. These sorts of pants, I got a couple pairs of them. Especially even a pair of sweatpants that are like joggers that have the cuff on the bottom. They are an absolute key. If I'm wearing the wrong pants on a lazy day, I'm not enjoying my lazy day. That's my number 1. Tucker, what's your number 1?
I've got the big old hoodie. I'm wearing one right now, actually.
Love the big old hoodie.
Big old hoodies are actually like a fashion statement, too. Oversized clothes are a fashion statement.
Here's the move. You wear your oversized hoodie and some skinny athletic pants.
Boom.
You're an icon, baby.
Yep.
You're an icon.
You're Travis Kelce, essentially.
It's my dream. Rudy, what's your number 1 lazy day apparel piece?
Yeah, quickly, I have a couple oversized hoodies, and I'm weird in the sense that like I kind of like my clothes to be a little tighter. Like it's almost like I
feel that way about the
want
pants.
my clothes to be like hugging me at all times.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's because I didn't get enough love from my mom as a child.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe
do you want Tucker to give you a hug on the way
Maybe it's
out?
because people just keep leaving me in my life. I don't know, but I like my clothes just feeling like they're hugging me all the time. So my number 1 is joggers, because they're hugging my legs, and my legs need some hugging too.
Fair.
No, that's I feel that way about the pants. I like the baggy hoodie and the skinnier pants. I don't really know
By the
why.
way, Mom, if you're watching, I love you. I didn't mean it, because sometimes she watches.
Oh, that's crazy. You told me before that you're going to totally put your mom on blast and that you meant it. But you said that during the break. That's crazy. Should we take a break and come back and do our last round of power rankings?
Yeah, we got an idea.
You know what? Let's do that. Tucker D. Franklin, host of the Ref for the Kicker Chiefs podcast, deputy editor for Arrowhead Report on SI, in studio with us. Last round of power rankings for the night whenever we come back.
Take the show with you wherever you go. Listen live on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app and 810WHB.com.
It's Family Leisure's floor model hot tub sale. Help us move out our 2020 product, and we'll help you with great deals. Family Leisure is your one-stop shop for pool tables, shuffleboard, massage chairs, and home theater seating. Floor models all priced to go. 15 different full-size stand-up and tabletop arcade games are in stock. Pac-Man, Galaga, Street Fighter, and 2-person full-size Star Wars, all on sale. Mention A10 and save more at Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
Awesome! This is your moment to take the path less traveled, to break the status quo to stop talking about the problem and be the solution. This is your moment to shape the future. This is your moment to be the greater good. Join America.
Sponsored by the Missouri Community Service Commission and the Corporation for National and Community Service.
Stop by Rally House this Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Zone will be broadcasting live at the Rally House Boardwalk in North Kansas City. The first 100 people that come in during the Zone each get a $10 gift certificate if they're wearing a jersey of any kind. Last week we saw some great jerseys, but the Kobe Bryant Lower Merion jersey took the cake. Come in with your most unique jersey, you could win a $200 Rally House gift card. Make sure and stop by the Rally House Boardwalk in North Kansas City this Friday from 10 to 2.
Small business owners don't have the patience for nonsense, especially when it comes to their internet provider. They want the best services for the best price. Simply put, that's Spectrum Business. They give you great value, zero nonsense. Just call 833-919-2121. You'll get fast, reliable internet and phone with no contracts and no hidden fees, all for a price that could cut your bill in half. Spectrum Business. Call today, 833-919-2121.
The cold weather has arrived here in the Midwest, and the deer are moving more than ever. You know what that means. Whether you're hunting for that trophy buck or trying to fill the freezer, Bushnell has the gear you need to have success in the stand during the winter months. Having a quality rangefinder can make or break your hunt. You can hunt with confidence when you use one of our feature-packed prime laser rangefinders with ARC technology. And with 2 times the brightness, Bushnell's rangefinders offer the best low-light performance on the market. Visit the all-new Bushnell.com and order one today.
Your home for the AFC and NFC Championship games. Sports Radio 810 WHB. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
That's more 35-8 in games in the postseason than Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Johnson, Magic Johnson. Oof, tough with words. And Wilt Chamberlain combined. Probably the kombucha.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Rudy and I were telling Tucker during the break this is the only good royalty-free music that exists. You're not with us on this, Tucker?
No, that's a good nasty face.
Okay, I was like, Tucker gave us a real stank face, but I couldn't tell. It didn't have the little like kind of lip curl thing that's when you know. Yes, I don't know if I can either, but I feel like I can feel it. I don't know. It's Tucker Franklin with us for the hour. You follow him on Twitter at Tucker D. Franklin, deputy editor. Whoa! Deputy editor of Airhead Report. We got to move fast. Okay. He does power rankings. You can listen to the Kicker Chiefs podcast. Our last power ranking of the day, commercials featuring Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go first. Number 5, the one where he throws the football into people's yards and destroys food. It's a Hy-Vee commercial. Rudy, number 5.
For me, number 5, I have the one where he's sitting at lunch with Aaron Rodgers and Jake from State Farm, and he's just, they're just having a conversation. He's just squeezing all the ketchup.
Tucker, number 5.
I have the holiday Hy-Vee one where he's like, anybody want a knife? And then he cheeky winks at the camera like, oh, I knew
We're
that.
going to have a lot of repeats, I think, in this circle. Number 4, that State Farm one where he has the shirt with the birds on it. I think they're playing cornhole. I don't care. I just like that shirt with the birds on it. That's why it's number 4. Rudy, number 4.
Number 4, when Patrick Mahomes is playing bags, talking to Jake from State Farm, just tossing the bags, not looking.
With the bird shirt.
Yeah.
Number 4, Tucker.
The throwing balls, the Hy-Vee one where he's tearing up everything. Yep.
Number 3, the new Head and Shoulders one where he says he 100% doesn't like green beans, 100% doesn't care about it. I laughed the first time I saw it. Rudy, number 3.
I like the one where he chucks the football, where he throws the football. He's like, yeah, I got all this room over here to throw a football. And Patrick's like, no, that's easy. He's like, oh no, and the football just crashes into 3 other people's yards.
That's the first one that showed up on all of our lists. Number 3, Tucker.
The haircut for State Farm. He said, oh no, everybody doesn't have to look like me, and then they all do look like him.
My number 2 is the Hy-Vee knife throwing, gravy throwing one. I think that one's a pretty good concept. Rudy, number 2.
Number 2 for me is the Community America. This is an older one where the guy's on the golf cart going deep and Patrick Mahomes throws the football.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Tucker, number 2.
The cornhole State Farm one, bird shirt.
My number one, State Farm Steakhouse commercial where he is just absolutely destroying a steak with a farting bottle of ketchup. It's still, that one is the only one on this list that I laugh every time. It gets me a little bit. That commercial is excellent. Number one, Rudy.
Number one for me is the one where he's like, oh, you don't have to get my haircut to get the rate? Yeah.
Really?
I love that one.
That's not, it didn't make my top 5, but he's got a lot of commercials. Tucker, number one.
Head and Shoulders, 100% don't like green beans. I think that's the best one.
100% don't care. This has been a 100% good hour. That's not true. Oh, we're done with power rankings. Da 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 da. How much show do we have left, Rudy? Be honest with me. Don't
1
lie to
minute,
me.
5 seconds.
1 minute, 5 seconds?
1 minute, 2 seconds.
What about now? That music means there's 1 minute left in the show. Thanks to Tucker D. Franklin. Tell everybody really quick all the things you do now.
I write for Sports Illustrated and for you. I write for Jesus Christ. I do the Roughing the Kicker Chiefs podcast.
For me and Jesus.
It's a pretty good list to be involved with.
What else do I do? That's about it. I substitute teach occasionally.
You can follow him on Twitter at Tucker D. Franklin.
Sue's FedEx.
Listen to the Roughing the Kicker Chiefs podcast and read his work and all the great work up on Arrowhead Report. I'm there for it, but everyone else does great work. That's all fine. Tomorrow, Mick Schaefer, 41 Action News, Matt Verderam of Fanside will both join us to continue previewing the AFC Championship game here on your home for the NFL, Mother Bleepers, Sports Radio 810, WHB Kansas City. NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game, 24 hours of pregame, me on the postgame, all coming this weekend right here on Sports Radio 810. Bye, Mom!
Listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain? Well, listen carefully, because there are new breakthrough treatments now available here. Not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative cell therapies from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics off 435 and State Line.